Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a bonus episode of Great Ace Attorney. Oh man, what an adventure. This game was so good. And now we get to do special content. Oh my, okay. Hi, Allie, thanks for the love. Wait, what's the Taylor? Oh my gosh, I can do special outfits. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, that, I don't know why, this just doesn't, I'm so used to seeing Susanoo just the kimono that this just doesn't look right to me. It just doesn't look like Susanoo to me. Ryunosuke can rocks the goggles and the alternative suit pretty well. What do we got for her line? Oh my. Oh dear. Wow. That's pretty intense. Some short extra episodes. View any accolades I've collected. All right, let's look at the accolades I've collected. Let's see, completion of the episodes. How to complete all the extra escapades. Game and all available outfits. Oh geez, Ace of Spades, nice. Oh dear, not that. For successfully presenting evidence during the first cross-examination occurs in both. Alright, alright. Pressed a witness during the first cross. Oh, nice. Oh, I didn't do that. Oh, I examined every medical report? Well, yeah, obviously. Oh, I didn't do that. Identifying the milliner responsible for the victim's hats. Nice. Oh. Question marks, huh? Oh my gosh. That would be funny to do. Oh. Oh, I didn't do that? Oh, oops. Oh, I see. Cool. I did some of them. I did all the main ones. All the little things. Let's see. Portraits. Oh man, look at all of these. Ooh, looking good, Ryunosuke. Looking very good. Oh, was this their original concept? Interesting. Or is it supposed to be like Phoenix, right? Or just Ryunosuke with different hairstyles on. Wow. Oh, interesting. Some of the early concepts of her. Just little bags supposed to be. Sherlock Sholmes. Oh my. Oh yeah, this is the color thing. Oh, snap. Let me show you some of the character design and scene saying artwork. The great detective, but how was I going to come up with the design to satisfy the request that you need to take on the classic detective? To begin with, I brought some steampunk elements to the Victorian era character. Try to create a stylish arrangement of various period elements and some iconic characteristics of the original that I wanted to preserve. Sholmes' personal crest combines the cogwheel motif, his consulting detective business, and the simple flower design of Iris' crest. Cogwheel symbolizes the Industrial Revolution to embrace it. Oh, okay, cool. Also overtones the relationship between Sholmes and Iris and the motif, with Iris the flower at the center, being protected by Sholmes the cogwheel. Oh. Cool. I like that. I was careful to preserve the essential features of the great detective, such as the deer stalker and the pipe, arranging them into a character that would be instantly recognizable to all. Sholmes' equipment is an exception to the rule that it consists of technology belonging to a much more modern era than the game's setting, and takes in fancy elements from the world of the Great Ace Attorney. The gun Sholmes makes use of in his investigations is a percussion revolver that could actually be employed as a regular firearm. Oh. It is juxtaposed that with Ryunosuke's Japanese katana sword, thereby highlighting a significant difference between the Japanese and European cultures of the day. Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting the detail they went into with some of this stuff. When Sholmes' goggles are turned on, the shape in the center of each eyepiece lights up and rotates. It's supposed to conjure the idea of a lens attachment on a camera to complement the detective's investigation. So, interesting. They get different lenses for different neat things. This is Sholmes' indoor attire. Since I assumed he wouldn't be comfortable relaxing whilst wearing his detective's paraphernalia. His hair is styled as wisps of smoke to complement the indispensable pipe. Oh, okay. Huh. Although the usual portrayal of Sholmes is of the man with black hair, I wanted to give him a different color to provide some variety next to the hair. The hair of Ryunosuke and the other Japanese characters. Fair, very valid. This is a sketch of different initial proposal documents. The image of Sholmes in the midst of analyzing evidence playing a crucial part in portraying the souped-up role forensic investigation was to play in the game. The actual character design was still not fixed at this stage, even though the general direction had already been decided, already. This is a very early proposal sketch. It was supposed to portray a somewhat dark London with heavy steampunk influences. Wow. Interesting. I'm gonna go back to... I didn't get Ryunosuke and Susato with this. Thank you, Joanne, for telling me about this. The hero of the show. Think about a period look of someone out of Meiji, Japan. Biblical ancestor of the protagonist of the main Ace Attorney games. Right. Cut of the Stoic University uniform befitting the period. Don't want to be too generic. Cut of the back of the sleeves. This picture is drawn as a reference to Ryunosuke's principal and coordinated camera angle. He has a sword drawn because, well, I just want to see what it would look like. Alright, well, that's valid. Traveling to Britain outfit. I included the school cap and cape as they lend an obvious period air, being so different to modern clothing. These are from the very first proposals. No scenarios have been written at the time, so I have Ryunosuke younger than he ended up, and his hairstyle was based more heavily on the descendants rather than on something faithful to the period. Right. Male hairstyles in the Meiji Japan were nowhere near as diverse as they are today. They are either cropped short, side parted, or swept back. I remember drawing these sketches as a way to distract myself when I was stuck on the hairstyle. It turned out they came in useful explaining how the game works, making proposal documents. Huh. Overall, character design is reasonable and uncomplicated. I was conscious I wanted to convey the unique qualities of this game by paying extra attention to the fine details. Every accessory and adornment had personal significance to the character, which is an idea how players use their imagination to explore. Yes. The design was that of a female student who embodied the principles of Yamato Nadeshiko, or personification of the quintessential Japanese woman. They used the easily identifiable and typical Japanese cherry blossom as a Mikotoba family crest, influencing the pattern of her kimono and hem of her akama trousers. Artist Suzawa's characters are impeccable in upbringing, which I tried to bring out in various elements of her design, from her posture, face expressions, and the quality of her kimono. I designed Suzawa's wrap to complement Ryunosuke's traveling clothes when it would appear in the anime cutscene. They keep the design overwhelmingly simple. There's another clasp. I want Suzawa's hair to be styled appropriately for the period, while at the same time being a little out of the ordinary. Or something that looks relatively simple in silhouette, but is actually quite complicated. Oh yeah, I could see it being more complicated. This is an early proposal sketch. When I wasn't clear how folksy to make Suzawa later, in parallel with Takumi's scenario development, I got a better feel for her character and softened her into a refined young lady. Images drawn to help with the anime creation. Anime cutscenes form bridges between various scenarios of the game. Finally important to avoid any discrepancy between the renderings of the characters. It's always my intention not to interfere with the anime artists and their work, but sometimes minor corrections are required. It's a constant dilemma for me. Also, finding Suzawa's design was how she would appear alongside Ryunosuke. In the end, I think that the contrast in conduct and bearing between the two helped establish as a memorable female lead. She is a memorable female lead. Child genius. Nice brings together a number of rather eccentric elements of the game world in a subtle and controlled way. First thing right here is we tied up in a cute style that combines elements of ribbon, bows, and hearts. In fact, her fringe follows a golden spiral and logarithmic curve based on the golden ratio. Dear Lord, what kind of detail is that? It's insane. Appears to be ribbons of hair tied in a bow from the front are revealed from behind to be a Mobius strip, a type of surface with interesting topological properties to combine Iris' infinite possibilities. Yeah, okay. Jeepers. Number of secret mathematical curiosity have been deliberately hidden in this child's innocent appearance. Oh my gosh. Decided to make use of a flower plant motif in Iris' character design. Oops. Probably inspired by the long history of the use of herbs and plant aromas has in Britain, and also because the idea of blending herbal teas fits naturally with Sholmes' chemistry-based investigative techniques. I was gonna knapsack or set to match Sholmes. Okay, yeah, sure. Goggles, a particular part of the initial design, was intended to be addition, but it would been a dubious error to Iris' appearance. There's more than meets the eye. True. Iris and Sholmes' inventions are, as a rule, far more advanced in the science and technology of the era in which the game is set. Thermos flask would have been considered a magical bottle at the time. In the game's late Victorian city, Iris and Sholmes already developed one and make use of it in their everyday lives. Technologically advanced, the appearance of their inventions follows the typical style of the era. Iris carries a gun she's developed, the Aroma 1, in her knapsack. Yes, these are the felt doll charms that Iris has attached to her knapsack. They're a bear and hair based on Iris and Sholmes were originally going to be very instrumental in the story and being shown in a lot of close-up detail. I have a great deal of thought on their construction while trying to make them as fun as possible. A particular favorite of mine. Oh, nice. An illustration from a time when I had Iris in a hat for out and about clothing. At this stage, her character hadn't been finalized, so I drew her older than in the final game and with more ladylike air. Jeepers. That is big. That, like, it's so interesting. Seeing the early, I feel like the most interesting thing is seeing the early character sketch models and what they eventually turned out to be. Very interesting. These sketches were done when I was exploring some elements of a magical girl incorporated in Iris' character design as a way of giving her more punch. Much brighter look here than in the previous illustration. True. This is an illustration I drew when Iris was almost complete. It contains all the key elements to make her design, although her face is a little more mature than in the final cut. Oh boy, Kazuma! Young classic young Japanese man. Billowing Hachimaki headband is differentiating from Ryunosuke, giving a more common and combative energy. There's no doubt that wherever Kazuma is, the winds of change are blowing. True. Let's see, Kazuma has the spirit of the samurai. He's also clean and wears a busy student hopeful. The shift of the cultural attitudes right with the main restoration. Using the leather gaiters and sword belt as influences from the Western world highlights the character's social awareness. Desperately wanted to draw Kazuma in the act of drawing his blade, so I included that in the key visual. Some dramatic finger pointing in court. There's little opportunity in the Ace Attorney series to draw a picture full of grand sweeping judges like this, so always looking for an excuse. Completely pleased that I could really go to town with a picture Cosmo at this large scale. The sketches I did during a transition phase when we were considering who should have glasses. As we saw that being Star Hasanaga, Achi doesn't count. This design I was working on at the time. Cosmo ended up with just a Hachimaki headband instead, but for a while competition for who would be the bespeckled one was fierce. Wow, interesting. What an interesting, like, debate they had to have. The combination of the headband and the glasses, Cosmo took on far too studious look, so although I was pleased to explore the possibility this was the drawing that convinced me that it wasn't the right approach. This sketch was done when Cosmo's design was almost finalized. I was hoping to draw both Renosuke and Cosmo side by side, wearing matching hats and cloaks. That's a picture I'd like to draw one day. Cosmo places just part of the historical lot of energy to give him a striking appearance, and immediately reveals his dependability and kind-heartedness as well as relentless determination. Probably makes a memorable impression everyone who plays the game. Yeah, you think? Yeah, guys, do you remember who Cosmo is? Jeez. Yeah, I would say Cosmo's very much like a, yep, that's a character. Oh boy. We had the British prosecutor Beric Van Zieks, whose character was to be themed on the Sister Reaper, the Bailey demigod. But the God of Death theme by design, I decided to avoid taking it too literally, and so I tried to produce a character whose bearing and presence conjured ideas of death and darkness. And I took inspiration from vampires, werewolves, fallen angels, and the like, incorporating the lots of dark elements of the man's design, bringing them all together by portraying him as a member of the aristocracy. Yeah, I was gonna say the vampire design definitely comes out. Made his clothing extremely ostentatious, drawing on elements from a variety of traditionally for ceremonial military attire, and I added some extra ribcage-like detail around the midriff. Saber supposedly contrasts early Renosuke's Japanese katana, bringing out the difference in the East and West samurai versus the knight. Cosmos came in, knew that realizing Van Ziek's cloak in-game would be technically complex, mentioned that it lent a lot of credence to his dark persona, so I was quite insistent about it. The result was that the aristocratic prosecutor's flamboyance and Dracula's darkness are both instantly appreciable, and I'm very grateful to the staff for the determination in achieving that goal. Cool. Prosecution reminded time to consolidate my ideas about the prosecutor's image. His look needed to be more than just piercing, it needed to portray a sad and tortured soul as well. Very early illustration. Look at that hair. I came up with and rejected a lot of different ideas myself over a long period of time. I submitted only the one that resonated most of me to Mr. Takumi. I was going to go ahead and proceed. Among the main cast, this character underwent a unique development process. I didn't show anybody in my designs for the prosecutor, including the design drawings from the stage of the process. I had to consider lots of options in the other stages, so I produced a wide range of drawings at the start of the process. Even though an idea might not be quite right, I put it to paper so I could home in on the perfect design. This is a proposal drawing I made just before setting up the final design. Personally, I was quite fond of this one. It had a more paint expression in the final version, still modeled on a raven's plumage. That is pretty dope. I always enjoyed Dark Hero, so I really like all the elements of Van Ziek's design and his overall appearance. The sure includes all the main characters and was produced in the same vein as the artwork I came up with Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney to make it instantly obvious that this style was from the same series. Here's the key visual. Nice. In this section, I'd like to present some of the character design drawings of for the less major characters that were created during the development. I hope you enjoy them. Alright. Yujin Mikotoba. Let's go. That's right, the cherry blossom crest. This design crystallized in an instant. I verbally suggested the idea of a homemade top knot to Mr. Takumi, and he immediately agreed. Made some sketches of Achi with round glasses on, since they were normal made in Japan, but it was just too much of a departure from the descendant's usual look, so I reverted to the normal shape of glasses we're all familiar with. Judge of the Supreme Court. I decided to take a different direction with the judge compared to previous judges. They accentuate the military atmosphere of the Japanese court at the time. As he passed his judgment on wrongdoers, I thought I'd take inspiration from the portrayal of the Buddhist god Enma. Oh, and I added a beard and some flames into my design. Golden gavel and saddled it on the traditional Uchidi no Kazuchi magic hammer. Oh my, wow, there's a lot of small details there. Oh, I forgot about this, Johan. Forgot about this guy. Nabisu. This guy does like his money. Interesting. I wanted to give him constantly eating sticky mochi rice cakes and get caught in his throat. It's a little too dangerous for trade, so it's great. So I stopped myself. Oh my gosh, okay. No, sir. Oh my gosh. Hold cranes in secret? Oh. I don't know, sir. Interesting. Constantly running nose is an expression of the poor nutrition children of the time had to suffer. Oh my gosh. Also, has a deliberately insensitive, it would be easy for you to tug. Wow. Similarly, the father-son hairstyles and another detail not to be missed. Yep. Osanaga, the homie. His character had potential. Believable appearance. Then is built on the idea of a young man with fragile good looks who wouldn't be out of place even the most delicately situated. Reason for the chick motif on the napkin, it carries a Weirlock Carnival as a kind of covert foreshadowing of Gisele's involvement because the restaurant was originally going to specialize in serving game. Oh. Huh. Giselle Brett. In the first Western character, so to make her a somewhat bizarre fantasy star gentlewoman. Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah, the swan kind of. There's a deliberate attempt to hide an interpretation about the overseas voyage. Actually wears a style to pair with the eyes of the swan. Yeah. I almost eliminated the chicks from Giselle's design on numerous occasions, but they made it through in the end. Well, good for you. Nikolina Pavlova. Oh my gosh. Russian fairy. Huh. Of course. Oh, let's go. Judge of the Old Bailey. Dude, when the judge gets in the stand in the last chapter and just like, I've heard enough. What the frick? Like, let's go. It's English, let's see, I've made the Japanese judge quite severe. Let's made this English counterpart for the more kindly appearance of the serious regular judge. Examine the contrast of the jagged beard. Fluffy. Yeah, he looks like Santa Claus. Research the sort of clothing British judges would have worn in that period and used that to create a design. Oh, cool. The jurors. I was giving instructions to the jurors. Didn't need any particular idiosyncrasies, but just in case, I thought I'd design some characters with a variety of unique traits. It was those designs that were picked. Nice. There were really little difference between the jurors and the witnesses, which meant I'd given myself a lot of extra work to do, but seeing court battle that included both jurors and witnesses justified all the effort. That's true. Seeing like even though like it's complete, like never, a jury and the witnesses, the way that all of them like battled each other was like, that is no way that's actually how it happens. However, it was still pretty neat. It's kind of funny though. So Seki Natsumi. Oops, hold on. Approach the time of that angle, various different. Although he was based on a real person, the Seki of this game has a unique appearance. Oh, he's based on a real person? Yes, his eye emotion is very apparent. I'm specifically been asked to include the cap, but I sketched a tricolor Calico Saseki's feet and was delighted when Wagga High was picked up and used in the game. Let's go, Wagga High! John and Joan Garadeb. I really had to work hard on this pair since they're so intimately tied up with the story. The guiding principle for their design was a sun and moon silhouette. Oh, okay, along with the idea of a puffer fish for Joan. Compared to the newlyweds of Constable and Mrs. Beat with their passionate love, the Garadebs are an older couple and I wanted to show a different form of love in the relationship. Yeah, you can say a different kind of love. Usually love doesn't include throwing fire and knives at people. Raleigh and Pat Beat. A lot of pairs of witnesses appeared again in this game, and I had a firm idea of how I wanted these to interact from the outset, and I actually worked backwards from there. Then it was a single unit, two people moving and acting as one. The scarf that goes around both their necks is a good example of that. They're modeled on the idea of dolls. And we're supposed to have fantasy world images by being virtually penniless and bringing out their genuineness and their sweet personalities. They are the epitome of couples goals. Tobias Gregson, stereotypical Scotland Yard detective of the day. Collar turned up, obligatory packing fish and chips. He's stuffing them in his pockets. I imagine his hands and the lining of his pocket are currently covered in chip fat. Whenever I see him eating, my stomach starts to rumble. And Gina was the character who underwent the most changes as a result of story rewrites. Originally, she wasn't going to be pickpocket at all. They resigned her in the later stage of the production process. Her outfit helps to portray her completely like a money and Mr. Takumi requested I make her clothes not quite fit properly as well. That's the reason why her shirt is too large for her, for example. From my perspective, I wanted to allow her feminine spark to shine through from beneath her boyish appearance. Cool. Let's go, Gina. Male Strongheart. Oh man, a character with immediately palpable presence and whose bearing was overwhelmingly intimidating. Her stands were militaristic. Kumi asked for Strongheart to have an intellectual image instead. Your eyes was currently look more reminiscent of a clergyman. Oh, well then. More reminiscent of a clergyman. Do I look that good? What do you guys think? Do I look as good? I promise I'm more ethically sound than Strongheart. His name is Vortex in Japan gave inspiration to the styling of his hair. There are also elements of unicorns woven solely into his designs as the unicorn features in the British Royal Court. Oh, cool. You have an image to send me? Oh boy. In profile, the front strand of Strongheart's hair looks like a unicorn's horn. Yeah, I could see. Yeah, well, yeah, the cane. Interesting. I also drew from elements of other creatures like the Black Panther to portray not only his intellectual prowess but also his ferocity. For its clothing, I tried to bring in features from prosecutor outfits. Egbert Benedict. Oh boy. What is this image? No! No! No. No! I don't like that. Holy crap. Strong says I wanted to go in this direction with this character. Nice. Clothing is detailed with elements related to bricks and brick buildings. Oh. Flourishes and affections and surprise players, so if any of you haven't seen them, do look out for them in the game. I'd like to get more detail about other characters, but I think we'll have to call it a day. If you enjoyed this episode, discuss the game's development with you. Thank you for taking time, and I hope our paths cross again soon. Oh. Sick. What a sick image. Stop! Dang it, Joey. Brothers have ambitious dreams. They were already a commemorative group of pictures. I sought to avoid the same themes and motifs in these pictures. I also didn't want to take away from the good vibes after finishing each title, so I gave it a lot of thought. In the end, I settled on using just Reno's and Cosma as the two of them on the embodiment of the greatest attorney. The illustration tells of the hope and ambition in their hearts just before they set sail for Great Britain. Standing shoulder to shoulder, they're turned towards the same future at the start of their journey. Because after experiencing the events of the adventures, they're going back in time and it's sure to start up some sort of emotions. I drew a similar picture of one of the Adventures art books, but as this piece was going to be used at a game, I made it more like a snapshot of something that might have happened in the story itself. Turn to the iconic final scene at daybreak between Reno and Cosmos for the inspiration of this symbolic illustration. Image of the sun rising between their crossed swords was something that I desperately wanted to include in the game, and it turned out to be a very emotionally powerful scene. Yeah, it was really good. Into the futures while showing the metaphorical dawning of a new age of the law. Rushing off their respective paths with conviction, their Reno and Cosmo dashing away in opposite directions from the rising sun from the day their fates would cross once more. Three of them were facing the same direction of brothers with ambitious dreams, brothers with not presented. That's good. Spoiler alert. There are stories built in this DLC. So I recommend that you finish both titles before proceeding. Oh, I already did, so we're good to go. Unless I need to do the extras. Yeah, I looked at the outfit. This just doesn't look like Suzato to me. It just is not. It's just like weird to look at. This is also weird to look at. Oh, I'm missing the. Hold on. Big spoilers, both of my comments and illustrations. Let's see, use the promotional. Let's do this. The Armband University, I strode, everything, working triangular shape of stance. I often like to pick causes and speak to character's backstory personality. With that, people, I remember wanting to make this outfit feel connected to the story somehow. These are the spark the imagination to give you. Yeah. His little shrew Nosuke standing. Oh, yeah. That's cool. I think this is also designed. They come with Prosecutor Sogi's. Yeah. Previous outing, our character is portrayed as an ideal refined lady, a model not. This time I thought this shows Suzawa's sweet and spirited side. Let me check a better balance between Suzawa and Rinosuke visually when they were featured side by side. Okay, over this. Iris, such. Or design elements. Iris is outdoor attire, shoulders is regular clothes. As you can say, there's Suzawa and Rinosuke's uniforms with the shoulders consolidated. There you go. With the period saying Suzawa's usually look as a very modest female student's attire, but I felt it made for bringing out her full feminine charm, so I employed Iris herself to unlock it in this costume. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Cool. Let's draw Sholmes facing forwards this time, in contrast in his publicity illustration with the first game. But as I drew, it struck me that the pose I chose wasn't very Sholmes-like at all. It was really more befitting. I was asked to create a teaser illustration which Sholmes and Rinosuke would stand shoulder to shoulder, at which point became violent balance to look visually. Which it led to what I feel is Sholmes' most natural stance, the 3 quarter blows. Also, he wound up standing at almost the exact same angle. I experienced a ton of deja vu as I drew. I swear it's a totally different picture. Insert illustration, light Sholmes on the left captures the moment which Sholmes hits upon his latest transcendental idea that turns his both time and space. Whereas I was about to go get some shine too. See, the jumble mix. One excuse to dress Sholmes in the Japanese clothing production for the first game, but after the second game came and went with those opportunities, I started to give a pull. That's when talking about alternate costumes earlier, and I sort of jumped at the chance to turn my idea into reality. The 3 outfit Sholmes was the one I had the clearest idea from the get-go. This was the one first completed. Imagine it would be something he could wear in Japan, so it was even more Japanese in design at first, but it was meant to be a costume for Great Britain. Pulled it back on a little bit, bringing along the other 2. I was thinking about Japanese style outfits for Iris and Van Zeeks actually, but all that was newer than 3, so unfortunately those 2 designs would never see the light of day. Aww. Rinosuke's house outfit made by Iris. Sholmes made his by himself. There's a not typical Kitsune Fox mask, but a Wagga High Cat mask. That's pretty dope. Iris Wilson. Sure, they're bringing out the cuteness fitting a child of her age more than the previous game's illustration. I just wanted to show off her knapsack charms. It's true. Also of importance was how she would look when paired with Sholmes. True. She designed this during the production of the first game, so I should bring it out again. I put it with various reasons. Thanks for is over her. Yo, Cinder, thanks for the love. I hope you're doing well. Steampunk's Aviators. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it looks good. Well, I know you're saying in a game, but I'm just saying in general, it looked good. Flowers of the design. Yeah, it was good. I like it. I drew on 2 versions of Van Zeeks, one with and one without the cloak. I used during the early and final days of the first post respectively, showing 2 different lights. Oops. One of the cloaked one, where most of him was shrouded to show his repeatability for Saw was ever used. I made sure that his resolve illustration would show both his dark demigod and aristocratic prosecutor sides. Yes, much love to you too. He's handsome. Well, there you go. In-game character model, and that was not the B. There was also a number of mysterious surroundings and antiques related to special the Reaper moniker at the end of the first game, so it was a great release to finally resolve them in the second. You know, trauma as he really is. Show a different side of him. The Reaper was the greatest catharsis for me. Alright, Masked Apprentice. So just the idea of giving advantage to young male judicial assistant during the development of the first game, and whilst it was well received, he couldn't be included due to time restraints. Just I knew during the game's development was told it'll be hard to add a new character now, but let me see what I can do. I tried to expect the trial the way they did. Originally, I proposed that his younger judicial could act as a rival to Cesaro, and that he and Van Zeeks would enjoy a close and heated dynamic. Instead, their cooler, more distant relationship worked out well. Originally, he was to serve as a backdrop to his mentor, coupled with the need to create the biggest impact possible when his true identity is revealed. The green aura mystery. From a narrative perspective, Cosmo represents the theme of confluence and contrast between East and West, as such as Prosecutor's outfit is based on the Western. Yeah. Core elements, example swapping to cosmos university. Yeah, I noticed that. Other examples include the replacement of Eastern Hatsumaki, Scott tie. Yes. The Japanese flag and oh, cool. Oh, that's pretty neat. That's why he's wearing white. Right, contrast with Rinosuke's black uniform. A bright form emerging from under a dark cloak like a beam of light chasing the haze and darkness away. And I was supposed he was studying the dark varsity of David's past with a layer. Yeah. Advanced details of cosmos design serve to convey the affluence of the prosecution while in contrast to relative simplicity and modernity of his outlook and sense of progress. Clint Van Zieks. In illustrations, but he's a key figure. I approach the design as though he were the main character. Oh, wow. Ha! Is this supposed to represent... This is why Barrack's so good at slamming the witness stand and the prosecutor's desk with his foot, I guess. Or they're mimicking the dog one way or the other. But creative design by retaining certain elements to create similarities between the brothers whilst inserting new elements to contrast the differences. Parachute blue, clips red jacket, colors of the Queen's Guard. Cross swords and the Advanced East Crest are actually also representations of the two brothers, as well as the emblem was used in the generation. I can't very well say it's all about them. Fair cross swords and belt buckle also says how they become bound by honor and glory, holding them back in various ways. Back to Clint's chest serves a memento of him and for his little brother when we were finally able to show him resolve. Narratively, I was able to make one very much contribution in relation to Clint. One day I was really proposed to the director thinking, how about making Clint's honey dog the Baskerville Hound? At the time, Mr. Takumi himself hadn't quite hit upon how to solve the Baskerville problem yet, so he wasn't even sure if he was going to include it in the story. Therefore, I figured I was nothing to lose by suggesting it. These guys often went hunting with their dogs back then, so it seemed like a period appropriate to show Clint's social status. Yeah. Also, judge it plays a certain vital piece of evidence in a very specific location. Oh, look at you. Oops. Sorry about that. Look at you go. I guess it takes a village to make a game. Genshin Asogi. It just stands ahead of the Asogi clan. The thin white strip of cloth which flutters. Second is the western student. Virtue is willing to show like Great Britain. For all you two must have been a progressive thinkers. Miss Clothing was for those of Cosmo. Hold on, my face here is too warm. I need more space. Okay, there we go. Swords and snake eyes with Asogi crest. And as a son of a samurai, British clerk in the depths of guidance. I simply fell into the design. Yeah, nice. Raise a toast. And then Eugen. Did we already look at this? No, this must be different. It was surprising fast as finally revealed and resolved. With all his backstory so during the first game's development. About the share I drew at my times on adventures. It was Western suit that appears as I was designing in conjunction with this Japanese Camino. But the color of the suit is more or less what I decided. Oh, nice. Your focus this time was not his relation to Zato as her father, but rather on his relation to Sholmes, the great Knight's legendary partner, Dr. Wilson. Series of good man, sought to me a bold charm. Aww, they are very nice. The design pair well with Sholmes, the more full of vim, vigor, or gentle kindness. Yamikuto was one of my favorite designs, and while I couldn't show them off visually in the game, I'm able to share them with you here. Yeah, I was like, that's like one thing I noticed when he was talking to Genshin in the cell. He definitely looked like his regular self instead of a younger one, like a younger Mikutoba. Oh my gosh, you're right. It is Baby Iris. I just noticed that. Legendary pair. Sholmes was partnered to their youth. In my mind, young Sholmes was much rougher on the edges than he is now, though I suppose everyone goes through that at some point in their life, right? I guess thanks to living with Iris, his rough edges have been sanded down quite a bit now because it's the people I've experienced as we all the years that changes the most. Mikutoba step the splash. She is secret of resolve done the Mikutoba step by the development team. I propose this is a way to give Mikutoba a unique yet complimentary animation that shows a great flourish to suggest during the dance of deduction without completely deviating from his usual gentlemanly ways. Partners went with the confidence to bring their own unique talents to the fight. Yeah, I love that. That was dope. Ryutaro Naruhodo. As women are allowed in the Japanese courtrooms of our game, it really became a question of how to present Zato as a man. Otherwise, there are two options. A look so unique that neither the player nor the characters would know who she was, or one where the player would figure out in the in-game character remain oblivious. Idea would have made very difficult since there is no qualms about using the second. I was able to finalize a master look for it without any fuss. Not about technical limitations, I mean to cut her hair, considering what was happening in the story, the person was limited. I could show the realistic one we ever had. For a number of things, she's making a jacket, just a little too big, and the sleeves just a little too long to keep her design soft, and cement the girl disguised as the boy look without overselling it. Let's see, Ray actually didn't exist at all in the first draft of the story. One new character slated to appear in episode 1 was Benny Memo, then it was Mikotoba. Oh! Mikotoba was going to be the defendant, huh? Interesting. So here, those thoughts struck me when I read the draft. First, I wasn't sure it was such a good idea to have Mikotoba be the defendant. I was standing next to his own daughter, giving her advice on the representative. Yeah. Well, episode featuring nothing but a bunch of old men would make for a very dull color palette. Kurzai was there, but she's dressed as a man too. Compared to the vibrancy of adventures, it felt lacking. About the feedback, I sent in my wish for a female student character to be added who could be either Kurzai's best friend or a younger schoolmate who absolutely adores her. Just for the sake of the visuals, but also create a parallel structure between Kurzai and Ryunosuke. Clever. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Says Shiryu Goku. A different role resolve. I folded elements of the boost God of Hell and Judgment, breaking Enma in his design. Even it has reminiscent of the judges hey we're in the Supreme Court of Japan is unusually hulking build for judges which seems to his level martial arts. Yep. Japanese boost imagery. Oh. Okay. Lines of Sue are meant to invoke the look of a clergyman, similar to Strongheart. The word of grace, a judge's ruling is not unlike the word of God after all. Oh. Interesting, interesting. Man, the clergy look cool. Maybe I need to start looking like this. Mr. Takumi was looking for ideas on where to set the Japanese episode at the start. I suggested that he said I would bathe or sea bathe area. You're not assuming we're going to be able to use in the British episodes. Assuming the game was to be released, the original release was in the summer, seemed like a great match. It would be easier to generate excitement at a glance as we could show some favorites returning and bathe in the era. First swim costume when I could lose for Hospital, but Takumi asked that I place something on his switch said that he might have something sticking out of the water in the submarine stakeout. For a turtle figure with a cute little head. That was very cute. I agree. I saw that sun during the seaside stakeout. Hustley also now looks a little healthier with his new tan. There are, however, a few spots where his tan line is visible on close inspection, like the ears around the straps of the Zori straw, sandals at hem. Interesting. Interesting. Cool. Let's see. Takatsuchi Achi. Probably just top. No, even the chop. Achi, the second is a man. So it was given that revolution in his hairline design. Still on the leg of a fallen samurai or Bruce Monk with really small tuft, he carefully nurtured. Seki suit his appearance, but now he was not only back in Japan, but a literary sensation. As he befits an author of that era. Created a suit jacket for a Rory jacket. Full kimono as well, but it was simply too Japanese and visually uninteresting. Plus, even the sharp forensic gesticulations Seki is known for, so I like the close of the Rory Western. Seki still has much to achieve as a writer, so this was a way to show his transition toward greatness. Covered in kittens in this illustrator because you can't help but think cats use a Seki. Actually, that is really the one way I thought we might make Seki's animation more amusing and cheery. That would enhance even the previous game's animations that had these three clingy kittens. And even harder. Meow, meow, meow. Sure. I did consider Princess Seki and Joseph Yoshi loincloth, but that didn't go ahead. Right to Memi Memo, young journalist, reading about the sun, chasing leads, tan, lean fit figure, yeah. First one was called the Taito Shimba, the Imperial Time, but it didn't seem to have a respectable sign publication. So from the very grain-themed name, Men and Momi in Japanese, which means unhusked bean, just like he worked on something called Daikoku Shimbun, 5 grains news. From Daikokuden, who's the god of 5 grains. Oh, okay, cool. Oh boy, Shakespeare. Chandler was one, just Shakespeare. He looks glamorous at first, but the closer you look, the more pretentious his strange stage costume seems. It feels like a period costume, but it's simply because they're just how out of place it is, even in Victorian times. The veneer of its flashy clothes seems to suggest clothes which actually as poor as they come. Remember in the beginning, they wanted those gaudy, oversized gems to come flying out during this final break, so I literally applied them all over the costume. Along the bottom of his jacket, I attached a belt so he'd make a jingling sound when he moved. It was to make him seem annoying and shallow, but when we actually added the sound effect to bring my vision to life, we found that it was simply too much, so we ultimately left them out. Meterman and Lady Quinby Altamont. Description of the job going to over and click to the gas. I mentioned Meterman was a worker bee. Worker bee jobs to bring money he collects back to the Queen. That's what the wife of the owner of the Altamont gas, Lady Altamont, can be modeled after Queen Bee. Oh, okay. I told you don't really see like the bottom part of her dress very much, but I guess you could have guessed by the umbrella. I also chose to design them as a pair so I could set them apart from the other boldly colored and uniquely dressed characters in this game and then create a sort of bee-themed uniform for the gas company. Nice. Altamont's umbrella is obviously your stinger. Waist sash, Meterman's scarf, which was drawn to look like wings. First of her design, she was said to be a detective, yet she appeared in evidence of pickpockets. Really, Gina returning in this way, rising up for what she was always meant to be. Oh! For result, I brought back a portion of my original Inspector Lestrade design while adding the bits to Gina percent based on what had happened to her in the story so far. The main goal is to bring her a more feminine side by giving her a cleaner, more stylish appearance. We gave her a trench coat to make her more detective-like and bring her closer visually to her mentor Gregson. Horseback riding boots are a holdover for what I'd imagine her like a member of London's mounted police. Perhaps she and Van Zieks could make an entrance together on horseback. Seeing the buttons on her hat from the attached use of the pickpocket, competitors always used fashion them into something resembling the goggles Sholmes and Iris wear. Before only I've heard. Now to the Hellhound. Chief Inspector Toby. She was always supposed to have a faithful canine companion, so when she was returning resolve, I pushed extra effort to finally have a dog. And since there's already a detecting dog named Toby in the original canon, it was quickly approved. It's true, it's very true. To Toby with the stories, I found that he wasn't as cute as I'd hoped, so I searched as an English breed that would pair well visually with Gina, made him a small, sweet puppy instead. So he's a proper police dog. So again, with tiny set of very sharp eyebrows. For the colors, I want to give him the look I feel a soft toy bear. His scarf, Gina's coat lining, and scarf feature a traditionally British plaid design. So I thought I'd link to the two with it as though they were cut from the same cloth. Okay. Neilbert Hairbrain. Brilliant teen scientist. Again, wild and really hair, Einstein's and glasses. Hairbrain's backspin expanded upon him, resolving with him, now bringing Van Ziek's best friend. I had to rebalance the more outlandish animation to switch for a better fit and tone. Hairbrain was a bright and exciting character, as a huge range of expressions about the crucial aspects of his personality would drop on various faces. Woody Osmond, he's been another nice rich man, this is what he's about as well. Here's the game for long, but as he was to be in a few real-time cutscenes because he's a machine's financer, make a full 3D model of him. Picture designed him completely from head to toe, even though he mostly shows up in illustrations. My favorite bit about him is his slightly annoyed and bored expression. I made Osmond look as affluent as possible, but since his name is Japanese, at the time was Richie Nandi, a pun for why he's rich. It was changed to Areta Menigan, a pun on a great useless man. Had he always been Areta Menigan, I think his design would have turned out to be very different, which made me realize yet again how just important a character's name is to their design. Enoch Trevor. Story-wise, I also use an engineer with a black monocle whose hair color changes from black to white. In the transition to actual objects, I turned the clear lens of his monocle black too, and loosened his neatly tied black hair in a messy sheet of white, revealing his past from his present. Being an engineer gave me the chance to include some steampunk elements, but I wasn't about to miss it. The result is a mechanical gauntlet that doubles as a tool set to the left hand. Belts and the plus and minus ends are evocative of electrical cables and electrodes. Positively make Turbo's animation stiff and robotic as if he became a switch role from his dramatic night. Where some frame must have been. It gives him some, dark yet somewhat likable feel, I feel. Esmeralda Tuspel's originally Tuspel's name was simply Madam, but she was an elderly lady who was exceptional at her craft. Given the ratio of male and female characters along with their ages in order of appearance of the game, I asked her to be aged down to a young lady instead. Pepper's Tuspel's needed to wear a cape or something similar on her shoulder so she could hide her arm underneath. She also needed to carry a bag of satchel. If she was going to be featured in close detail during her dance and deduction, I really want to make her design as striking and memorable as possible. For test of degree, Wax Species of Tuspel operates under the outrageous idea that she should create molds of her subjects around their very real bodies and make the soulless wax figures look alive. Typed up images of black magic, alchemy, which made me thinking her as a witch. Might be a little anachrostic, but I felt in this particular mild disconnect might work well with the Wax Museum. Plus, only the world greatest are going to get away with expanding on the visual palette this way. To go for it and give her completely witch-like appearance. I like that. There isn't there actually like a in like Great Britain? Isn't there actually like a Madame Tussauds museum or something like that? Like a Tussauds museum or something like that. Something called that. Courtney Sith, key figure, story, Scotland Yard's chief coroner. You know, it's kind of nice they included a coroner in the series. They never really talked about it. They were just like, here's the autopsy report in the original trilogy. Constantine was a little strong, hard man seeks another prosecutional figure, given the relationship going on in the mood. I approached her time from the angle of men's attire, as I thought she would have been the exception to the rule back in Victorian era, working in a very male-dominated field. Casey layered on snakes motifs, and snakes were simple medicines at the time, restrictions in her fangs, and they lend her this cool, intimidating aura like a venomous snake. The other pieces of hair, the movement of all rods, snake. Badge on her chest, hearts and cross, a sign around chief coroner. As she is the head of the French investigation, gave her a lot of sharp, straight lines of Art Deco design to make her feel more modern. Maria! Heather Gore was to be an eccentric young lady who loves dissecting, so I tried to make her design like anything else. Cute, girly side and dark side. She shares a common trait with her mother. She expresses a regular young girl, so with her butterfly themed custom white clothing, fancy ribbons. Mask, a steampunk version of a flag mask. Bantha's our loon. Yeah, festive look. God, so I added to design toy balloons. Yeah, that's very nice. Bohemian Boy Godson. Valid Bohemian Boy family. Recommend to me that there was a masked king of Bohemia who appeared in the original canon, and you want God to be a homage to that character. Show me an illustration with a story of a dubious looking man with a white thick mask on his face, and asked over the mask. Since Godson would make it easy to tell you the member of the ability from a single glance, that added an element to the man's illustration. I wanted there to be a sense that he had been dressed now like the privileged and entitled little boy he is. Nuance its facial structure and the translucent quality of his skin sheets are typical European children. Coordinate the lines of his facial profile and shirt cuts feel elegant and refined. Fabian de Rousseau and Peppino de Rossi. These two are the ringleaders of the Red Leagues, and first and foremost, making their red hair as conspicuous as possible. Reflect respective countries of origin. Universal families, again, beautifully matching outfits. I especially like Peppino's associated expressions. Posse source was inspired by Italy and his red hair, but the Choryukin is there simply because we can. Ibu. According to Mr. Takumi, the story called The Man with the Slip in the Cannon. The concept design was to pay homage to it. I sense great potential in the idea of the man who twisted his lip, as it were. As I did the part of a buffoon in the story, so I made over as members of the circus clown. I told you she was a match seller, so I created a no-frills design for her. He was originally going to be completely a character, but he circumstances to be murdered with Beepo from Adventures. Poor Beepo. He did extort people and help McGilded for money. Figure this could be his new job after he lost the one over the omnibus incident. So, mixing element. What do you mean he didn't do nothing wrong? He took extra money from people. He charged more than he was supposed to. And then he helped McGilded with getting the frickin' jacket or whatever to the pawnbroker. People was reborn, sort of. Daly and Evie. After the dread, I felt strange at the realism and charm of their marriage and the distance between them. They was a bit more strained. I was expecting her personality. Evie's pretty love her husband, evident by the way she genuinely worries about his appearance. The life of Daly tries to keep her happy, behind the other truth, leave her double life. Very fact of his life himself to go with hiding. He looks all the time at his eyes are full of warmth, but he looks heavy, but that's since the size of sorrow I want to convey. Yeah. The open sheets and radiates a perfectly bright and happy aura like the sun. Barry Caden. Just the sound of his job, a tall, stocky figure came to mind. I built three elements of dandyism into his design, taking him far away from the austere taste of the stereotypical British showman. Based on prison motif, vertical strides, jail bars, cage and visual waistcoats. Our pride was the prison. People, so I really narrowed his waistline for a tight, sharp silhouette from behind and gave him rock hard thighs and calves. A bit of backstory to Kane that we didn't get to explore in the game, but as the prison giver, he isn't well liked by the inmate population. One day Kane was attacked by his officer and in his office by a few escapees. That's why he got the scar on the back of his head. Ever since he's had that action rifle up to the handcuffs and is ready for in his office for self-defense. Wow. Want to give him an animation to small after the fact that he had it on him. I always a quite testament of the life he's lived. Remember, even when it's not depicted in the game, these characters have lived entire lives of their own. Stroganoff, Biff's little twin brother. That's true. I used a little lick of the hair from him, slightly more naive than his older twin. Changing colors different from this, and at the same time change the coloring. Certain sistership match. A bit more chick for its role on the stage for a most spectacular show. Male Strongheart. Pointing those in the circle of influence under one, he was an embodiment of his name, the heart of the maelstrom. Role in the story is also three of the other motifs, the unicorn, a highly intelligent creature that shares the royal coat of arms of the United Kingdom with a lion, whilst possessing a deadly strength of his own. Fusion King is replaced and result with a new unicorn hammer that makes a loud and unique clanging sound using court. Symbolize the Lord Chief Justice in the final chapter of the story and adds a certain color to the last trial of race history. The breakdown of the story unfolds the tiny vortex and Strongheart's hair, which will spiral out of control into the little unicorn horn. And it moves so out of place with the overall shape of it, transforming Inferno's reflection of his anger. Really cool and electric demeanor, also more strong with terrifying and ferocity. I wanted to capture quite an enormous blaze with nothing left to burn. Rather a flashy breakdown, but one we'll see at the end of the story, I think. I hope you look for this sequence again with my remarks in mind. Oops. Good thing, the backlit Strongheart with his arms stretched out towards the heavens and the sky visual for results meant to make him look like he's been crowned with glory. She also referenced to the final scenes. Lucky Charms. Interesting. Figures the other main character is real. Oh, I suppose. Figures that while she's all pink and all so cute, she fancies she's a real bear on the inside. I don't want to talk about the bonus episodes. We're about to play them. Key visual. Oh my gosh. Dude, I want this as I want this on a poster and in my room. Two sections with images of Britain dominating the upper half while Japan taking lead in the lower. And the fully drawn blade, a great rainbow rises, lifting sakura petals up into the English roses above. Created a natural line for the eyes to follow that conveys the trajectory of the story that starts with Japan to Great Britain. She's faced instead as Iron will handy with him, while Cesaro shows a slight unease. Just how the story of the adventures overseas ultimately came to close. Adventures was the first title in the Ace Attorney series, diverged so greatly. Main story Resolve was sent to movie for the same composition of this visual extra, the dramatic tale that binds the characters to one another. Into the center, yeah. So even though they were forced apart, fates brought them back together. Pop center represents a different time and shimmers with the golden light of a bygone era. Oh. It fades into dark shades of twilight, and the mood shifts along the colors reflects the relationships between the destinies of each character present. Cherry blossoms are used as symbols of Japan, swirl around, and then the praise of the strong gust of wind. Ephemeral nature of Sakura is layered atop the metaphor that pillows that fall into the grand adventure will be swept up into the air again and resolved with this gust of wind. First headwind in Renoski's case. I've painted a lot of meaning in this illustration. Each character's placement into the overall composition for you to discover once you finish the game. Who knows, maybe I'll find something new. This would be a companion piece with the key visuals of adventure, so to make my day if you were to let your manager morale as you view two pieces side by side. Key visual. I aim to distill the essences of both adventures and resolve and blend them in a single piece that shows both the world and the story of the greatest turn with this. Additionally, now that both halves of the tale have been told, and with this passage of time, I was able to draw characters to truly see them in this moment. I put my heart into capturing a lot of different things in one composite picture. A single illustration evokes the game's swirled in, while it's bringing out the charm of each character. Because where I had to draw each element separately, I think I need something akin to a long picture scroll, just link them all together. I just want to draw a beautiful picture. Key visual concerns are motivation to keep on playing, even as a key to unlocking some fun memories of the game once you get through. Nothing would please me more than if my art could inspire you to lose yourself in the idyllic world of the Great Ace journey. Aww. In closing, I'm personally fascinated with design illustrations where I can catch a look into the thinking behind from detail, so it's been an absolute dream to share a sliver of my thought process here with you. Thank you so much for being to the very end. Let's do your nerdy. That was sick. Alright, what are these? Okay, we're watching stuff.
Hi! あなたの証言は決定的に矛盾している。そして、そう、むしろ致命的に矛盾しているのです。
何をなさっているのですか、なるほど様。
ああ、スサトさん。見ての通り、ちょっと張り切っているのです。
Other promotional videos?
張り切って？
来年発売予定の大逆転裁判で奇跡の出会いが待っているのですが。
Oh. I'm not gonna watch promotional videos then. I've already looked at the soundtrack online earlier. Alright, let's go to the escapades. Holy frick, there's a lot of these. Alright. The first of 8 escapades, Renosuke finds 2 troublemaking witnesses from this early trial having a battle of words in the Pantana chamber. Into a long ton lashing. Yeah, those are also included. Oh, do they? Okay, I'll look at those then. I'm probably just gonna read through these quickly. I kind of like that though. I'll have to take a listen. Ooh. It does sound a little positive. Nervous whenever I compose a truth revealed theme. But a few options, but by about the I hit on something that felt right. This is true. Revealing the feedback I received, there was a comment that was repeating a little monotonous. But as I listen to the whole piece lacks impact, I feel. It's okay, Kitty Walk. Oh. Yeah, I like the mysterious mood. Oh, so good. A steampunk feel. Okay. Oh. Oh my, this sounds like it would be used in like the regular games. Like the original Ace Attorney. Yeah, I don't like that for Gina. I understand what they were going for, though. Oh, I actually kind of like this, but it's not for what... I agree why they would use this one more. Wow. I like this one a lot. Wow. These are the beep beep boops. Oh. Oops. I kind of like that for the Great Exhibition. Yes. If you use a sign as a van, let's do this. I think it's a. Oh yeah, they think it's just van. Yeah. I can totally understand why they would get something like that. I wrote her theme based on her mysterious bitches looks. Once I learned her personal areas, I've been completely wrong. Based on appearance. Interesting. I simply to make this sound cool, but I gave it an extra layer of richness. Ooh, yeah. Am I playing Zero Escape or Ace Attorney? Holy moly. This song is good, but it creeps me out, but it's so good. This is perfect for the mood they wanted to capture.
Her mit dem Schwarzbier.
We're gonna just skip. I think we've heard that though. Was everything I had left to bring this piece of the world to two other ones that I poured myself out rejected. I knew this would be need to build anticipation. I also remember agonizing events when I would favor the situation. It is a banger, but like here's the problem. If it's gonna be stuck in my head all night, and I don't want that. It is pretty epic. I love this song. This is such a good song. Yeah, tapped. That's so good. I love this song. Yeah. Oh, you gotta have the tap dancing. Pursuit a great turn. Oh. Damn. Oh. Yeah, I like it. Get used. I actually ran it during the others. I feel like this starts at good points. Yeah. I think you did. I think I definitely said yes. The song is so good. Oh, yeah. I like how they just say LOL a lot. Oh, jeez. Okay. You did a good job, Kitagawa. Oh man, I could definitely listen to this music for a good while. Trust me, I have a video game. Oops, I have a video games playlist, or like a video game music playlist, and movie/video game music playlist, and I made a playlist called Galaxy Brain for when I want to feel like I'm like needing a thing card, and I definitely put like 10 songs in that playlist, and I'm probably gonna go back just to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Objection! I will become a lawyer.
Let's go. All right, let's get to it. What are these escapades all about? It's a great Ace Attorney 1 did have a lot of sales in Japan and to pay permission to beg them. Really? Wow. That's surprising. Was it because it just was not regular Ace Attorney? Wow, that's amazing. Well, they did a really good job with what they worked with. Oh, I wonder what happened then. Did people just not like it? Huh. Oh boy. Look at my priceless treasure now. Myself, I have scrubbed and scrubbed, but the repellent order of me will never be repelled from his resplendent service again. Get back in your possession, at least you should be grateful, old man. How dare you? Excuse me, but I'd just like to get at that Zabuti cushion there if I could. Rest assured, you miserable military malefactor. This is not over. Oh, wait, the lack of anime cutscenes? I can understand the... Yeah, that's surprising to me. Incarcerated awaits those who would defraud a senior citizen of his priceless treasure. Watch your tongue, old man. Mark my words, I won't. Sorry, Sergeant, but can I just get at that Zabutin cushion there as well? Oh. I won't go to jail, never. Imagine if I did. Very next thing my boy would start without the chain of command in place to provide for him. Using the child to protect yourself. Myself, I call that abstinent cowardice. Oh, really? And who just employed the old poor defense of senior citizen tactic? Or to fight an enemy who's using underhand tactics. It was a tit-for-tat strategy. I'm sorry to interrupt again, but I just need to get that Western Star cushion there on the sofa. This is a predation. What do you want, man? Oh, please, don't mind me. Aha, do my eyes deceive me? Or is this the wide-eyed criminal from the trial before? Wide-eyed, perhaps, but criminal? No. What is this unhealthy fascination you exhibit with the seating arrangements of others? Why are you peering under the cushion of this upholstered seat? Oh, well, thing is... Any luck? Did you find it? No, sadly not. I don't think it's here, Kazuma. You really are a liability, Ryunosuke. Report, at once. Have you lost something? Is that it? Yes, we were just on our way to a party to celebrate my friend's victory here when... I realized that my university pin badge was missing. University pin badge, you say? Yes, for my collar here, you see. Affirmative, uniforms must be kept in prime condition at all times. Missing badge is unacceptable. If I looked around, it would probably turn up somewhere. Like the old tale of the Coben coin and the stake. Parable of which I am acutely aware. I'm exhausted my search now, really. My logical conclusion is that someone must have stolen it. Don't look at me. I don't just find any old metal objects irresistible, you know? Imagine what would happen. A little trooper idol here. Saw something like that. Very well to give up, Ryunosuke. So if you tell the office your student number, they should be able to issue with the new one. What's the matter? Don't tell me. Yes, I don't remember my student number. I don't believe it. I mean, this is the second time you lost your badge, isn't it? Third, actually. You didn't think you could remember it. You should have made a note of it somewhere. Told you that until I was blue in the face last time this happened. Yeah, I do seem to remember someone telling me something along those lines. It was you, was it? Can't even remember who told you that you needed to remember. Well, student numbers are 6-digit, Cosmo. Who can remember 6 full digits? Music exactly alongside with university, you know, all our numbers are still rather low. Or they only use the last 3 digits. Well, that might help, I suppose. That might help. Read knows it's only 3 digits, you need to remember just 3. Sorry, my brain is such a disappointment. Yes, well, anyway, young man, myself, I was really impressed with you in the courtroom today. Oh, you mean me? A lawyer already before you've even graduated, and such a loyal friend to this one. This one? What's that supposed to mean? Oh no, I still have much to learn. In fact, that was brought home to me in no uncertain terms only last year. My Achilles heel was spectacularly exposed by my best friend here. Indeed. What? By me? First I've heard about it. Yes, by Ryunosuke Naruhodo. You can't have forgotten, surely. It was last summer, the speech contest. Speech contest? Oh, that. Destined to take to the stage to deliver a public address on any subject they chose. We were competing to give the most compelling and powerful speech. Yours was great. It made a huge impression on the audience. Obviously, since I was a budding student of law, I was determined to win. Sure enough, one by one, my opposition fell. When I reached that final at last, I came up against you. Yeah, so you did. Not being rude, but when I first laid eyes on you, I thought to myself, this cheeky, wide-eyed no-hoper is out of his depth. He's going to be a pushover. That's your version of not being rude, is it? Well, I paid for my complacency because it brought on that humiliating defeat. Defeat? How were your ranks compromised? The speech was going very well. I had the audience in the palm of my hand. They hung on every word. And then I came to the very last line. Yes, what happened at the very last line? Supposed to be a climactic end. Unfortunately, I completely fouled it up. Never! You mean you stumbled on your words? Spectacularly. Even now, I can't believe I ruined it. Well, what on earth did you say, man? Ryunosuke, you'd better say it. I still can't get my tongue around it. Sure, of course. I still recall it perfectly. You said at the end of your speech, or rather, what you intended to say at the end of your speech, was this. So arise, ladies and gentlemen, and applaud our forefathers' plight for the fight of filial piety. What went wrong? What indeed? Myself, I see no problem with the pronunciation of those paltry words. In that case, old man, I invite you to say it yourself. Very well then, I shall. Ahem ahem. So arise, ladies and gentlemen, and applaud our forefathers' plight and the fight of the lol pile. It's impossible. The arise, ladies and gentlemen part, I delivered perfectly. The next part had me floundering for a whole 5 minutes. At the end of it, I was on my knees in front of the podium, a blabbering mess. And that's when the audience started to heckle you. Arise, arise, they were shouting. Hell on earth. And of course, this man went and delivered his word-perfect speech with a perfect ending. How did it go again? Let me see. So, my dear fellows, the message is simple. Treat your father and mother with respect. Something like that. I mean, talk about stating the obvious. Fact is, I lost to that speech. Tongue-tied is the only way to describe it. Well, it is quite tricky to say, I agree. That final fight for filial piety, especially. Ever since the day I've had this question whirling around my head. Why did our forefathers choose such an awkward phrase? Was it to mock their children? I mean, it should never have been called filial piety in the first place. Ah! At least you're going to Great Britain soon. It might not come up much there. Anyway, I lost at a cursed contest. I came after you to ask you a question. How is it that you never trip up on your words? I inquired, and you just gave me a broad smile and said, speaking fast is my hobby. I mean, really, what kind of hobby is that? Do you think you could take your hand off of your sword? Besides, it's just a way to pass the time. After you started talking at me 10 to the dozen, like you were possessed almost. Honestly, you can't imagine the shock I suffered that day. You really can't. Right, I really can't. Speaking fast is the sort of hobby I'd expect a civilian like you to waste his time on. You have to practice, of course, but there are some simple things to start with, like this famous one, for example. Switch samurai sword, swipe slightly sideways. Oh yes, even a decrepit tongue in an alien frame such as mine can find its way around that one. I've no doubt it's just a bit of fun, really. I can't imagine people would struggle to say it. Isn't that right, Kazuma? Swift, samurai sword. Ah! Blabbering mess by word 2. Not just a samurai, every good soldier needs to be able to handle a sword. As why I've been busy teaching Idle to find her points and swordplay. None of his wordplay is nonsense, Private. Come to think of it, not long after that, we started to attend lectures together, didn't we? Got into that debate about family values at this Tsukuyoki place on campus, you remember? Yes, the argument was full of jokes and puns and wordplay as usual. I remember it well. Oh, was it? In any case, I swore that I would never let myself forget the shock he gave me back then. As a symbol of how seriously I took that oath, I decided to wear this. My red Hachimaki headband. Sorry, Kazuma. Yeah? You've lost me there, I'm afraid. I don't see the link. What does your red headband have to do with your oath? Because it will always remind me of that smug look on your face as you utter those tantalizing words. What words? You mean another tongue twister? Practice the presence of my tongue bled, but in the end, I mastered it. Mastered what? Well, I think it's time you heard this, actually. Listen carefully now. Here goes. Red headband, lead headband, dead headband. There! Word perfect, see? I'd actually been meaning to ask you about that. About the story behind your headband, I mean. Well, now you know. I'll never forget the shock and humiliation of that day. That's why I wear this red headband every single day without fail. Well, I don't know exactly how much of a shock you think you had it back then, but it can't be more than the shock you've just given me now. What do you mean? Well, I'm sorry to have to tell you, but tongue twister I said didn't go the way you seem to have remembered it. Huh? This is famous with Swiss samurai swords, so I can't believe you don't know it, really. It goes, red bread pan, lead bread pan, dead bread man. Wait, what? Bed red paw? It seems I've knocked some wind out of that headband of yours. Not too late, Private. You could always start wearing red bread pan on your head instead. Your youthful vigor is manifest, young man. Your cheeks are glowing redder than your hachimaki. Why so many words have to be so similar? So looking forward to Great Britain then, where you have to deliver speeches in court in English. I suppose I can always shell sea cells on the seashore. These are silly. Almost 2 weeks now since we left Japan. Can't believe how quickly time has gone. Our next port of call will be Shanghai. Who's there? A detective. A detective? Who? A great detective? I don't get it. What's a great detective? You would just be so kind as to open the door. Oh, yeah, sorry, of course. Something wrong, detective? Are you investigating a case? Wherever a great detective goes, great cases occur. Indeed. I am the root of all evil. Sorry? I don't think I want you in my cabin. Under our very noses on this steamship, a terrible theft has just occurred. What? You noticed, I presume, the brief power failure a short while ago? Yes, power couldn't have been out for more than 10 minutes, though. Indeed, that was ample time for this wicked crime to be perpetrated. I see. Well, clearly it's a case that he's investigating. Precisely. The culprit ran away in this direction, down the first-class cabin passageway here. Really, the thief came this way. I'm quite sure of it. It may have escaped the attention of the dim-witted crew, but not of the great detective. Then I would be obliged if you would allow me to investigate here in this cabin. Well... How curious. Is there some reason why I would inconvenience you to have your cabin searched? Inconvenience me? Well, I'd be lying if I said no. After all... The a stowaway in that wardrobe right over there. It's just me in here, you see, no one else. Might perhaps want to focus your attention on one of the other first-class cabins. As it happens, you are the only first-class passenger at present. The other cabins are vacant. Oh. The rather tragic rumbling of the stomach. Arise from within you, my good fellow. Of course, as I said, I'm the only person in here. Not long till dinner time now, so perhaps we could do this afterwards? I apologize, sir, but it is of the first importance that the investigation is not delayed. Now, you'll excuse me. Wait, where'd he go? I sent him all the way over there. Yes, without a doubt, if the culprit were to be hiding in this cabin, it would have to be inside this wardrobe. I just need to examine this wardrobe thoroughly. I presume you have no objection? I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to decline. Really, you won't find any. Achoo, achoo. Those two rather tragic sneezes arise from your good self. Of course they did, as I said, I'm the only person in here. You have a curious knack of talking while sneezing then. Twice, no less. It's gonna be a tough one to argue. I watched you quite intently, sir, and I assure you, I saw no signs of a sneeze. Reals could have held his nose. As I was saying, I shall need to examine this wardrobe. Right now then, game's up. Nobody hiding in there, it seems. Oh. What? You seem surprised. No, not at all. Yes, I am. He was in there for sure. I shut the doors on him myself. More visitors? Who's this now? Excusing me. Oh, Seaman Stroganoff. Sorry for disturbing, but crime has been committed on board ship. Yes, I heard a theft, a terrible theft. How do you know this? Well, the detective here just informed me, you see. Detective? Yes, I assumed you must have asked me to investigate. Detective, could you... Where did he go? I'm asking to cooperate with the investigation into this crime fully. Uh-oh, he's going into the wardrobe already. Oh, ah, ha, ha, ha. Well done, you found me. What are you doing hiding in my wardrobe? My good man, I was merely assessing the practicality of concealment in such a place. I would say that at a push, a human could survive for up to 5 minutes in that cramped space. She's been there for a fortnight. Is he not human? Who are you? Well, obviously he's covering it up. This is a moment of truth. The great detective is about to unveil the sordid details of this wretched crime. You mean to say... Yes, there can be no doubt that the culprit of this terrible theft didn't conceal himself within that wardrobe. What? But that's impossible. He couldn't have done. My best friend was in there the entire time, or at least I thought he was. I'll be sure of this. Elementary, my dear fellow. The criminal left behind the most revealing evidence. How else could you explain these 3 bones? Ah, what the? He's right. Look at those darn bones in there. 3 of them. The criminal has escaped this time, but I will find him and crush him. Can I ask you something, detective? Why, yes, of course. What's like to answer an inquiring mind? This terrible theft, what exactly was stolen? Aha, what else? Put some steaks on the rib bone? Huh? Did you say steaks on the rib bone? This evening's dinner. 3 rib steaks were stolen from the ship's kitchen a short time ago. There was malfunction with generator, and ship was without lights for 10 minutes. Chef who saw criminal said that he ran down first-class passenger. Now I'm on his tail. Great to say, dear fellow, that the man is no longer in this cabin, but how? Through the cabin door, no less. Down various hall in this wardrobe, the culprit discarded the bones and concealed himself behind the cabin door as you came inside. Then... No. No. No more meat on the bone. No. What? In case the command of the culprit. I shall follow presently. Something troubles you, sir? I think maybe. Criminal's not running away at all. What are you suggesting? Now I know where the dog is buried, Mr. Solgi. Me? Ah, when I think you are a culprit, everything falls in place. Criminal that disappeared in first-class passway, phones and wardrobe. All clues are pointed to fingers at you. It's ridiculous, I would never. Yes, yes, of course. I said, but someone said you could be the perpetrator of this crime. You did. Why? How are you so sure? My dear fellow, there are but two things in this world on which one can rely with total certainty. What two things? The first is the word of a great detective, and the second is the tragic rumbling of an empty belly. Ah, not again. I first entered this cabin. There did arise from the gentleman a belly rumbling so odious and tragic that it confirmed beyond all doubt. Man, I've not eaten a single rib steak in some time, let alone 3. What about to suffer this humiliation? What if I've done nothing wrong? Courage, I will catch his thief. He cannot have gone far. Indeed, assuming he decided against a post-noon constitutional swim. Well, if you will excuse me now, my apologies for upsetting your evening. Probably the cat. Detective, one moment, please. Yes? That was a most remarkable deduction. Perhaps you'd be kind enough to tell me your name. Ah, I quite slipped my mind. You've been talking with the one and only Sherlock Holmes. I see. Well, I'm Cosmo Sogi. I'm a student on my way to Great Britain. Pleased to make your acquaintance, Mr. Sogi. Oh, and before I forget, yes? I feel I should warn you. Live cargo is strictly forbidden on this vessel. You do well to conceal the stowaway currently lying low under your bed as carefully as possible. Oh, the bed. I bid you farewell then, Mr. Sogi. There's like the cat's under there. I covered our secret. I suppose I should have expected nothing less of a great detective. Now then. When did you move in under the bed? Thought we'd had it when we'd opened the wardrobe door. Ah, well, it was thanks to that split-second chance you engineered. Was I what? You distracted him for a moment, remember? Just that he investigated the other cabins instead? Oh, yes, he turned to look towards the corridor, didn't he? Well, I couldn't see what he was doing, of course, but I thought to myself, it's now or never, and the next thing I knew, I was under the bed. You know how to give me a scare, don't you? Anyway, what's all this about the rib steaks, eh? Sorry about that. I've just been so hungry. Since we left Japan, stuck in that tiny wardrobe. Well, you should know. You've been splitting all your meals with me, so you must be starving too, surely. There was that power cut before, wasn't there, for about 10 minutes? So it was then. I caught a whiff of the most delicious smell. I thought to myself, it's now or never, and the next thing I knew, I had the steak in my hands. Man just can't help getting himself into trouble. Alright, you were hungry, but 3 steaks? Thanks to you, 3 crewmen are going to go without tonight, I imagine. No, just the one. What? I only took 1 rib steak from the kitchen. That's all. I don't understand. Hey, I'm not that selfish. If I'd stolen 3 steaks, I'd at least have tossed one your way. Not your pet dog. Well, in that case, who stole the other 2? Ah, do you think there'd be a ghost on board? A meat-loving ghost? There only have been a single bone in the wardrobe when else can move to hide under the bed. Because the other 2 bones can only have been put there by one very flesh and blood person. Sherlock Holmes. Ha ha. What's so funny? We're on a haunted ghost ship. Great detective or a great mischief maker. Either way, I think I'd like to spend a little more time getting to know that man. The great Sherlock Holmes. Heck yeah. Let's go. sad. Very true. Very sad. Here we are again. When we visit here, the atmosphere in this place is getting more and more overbearing. I think we could be at home with Mr. Sholmes' neighbors having a nice, cozy breakfast. We do report the outcome of the case, especially since we're guests here in Britain. This visit couldn't have been avoided. Suppose not. Here. You're a bin drive this, but it's too solemn for its own good. It's very quiet, isn't it? Thinking of the great clock. Tick tock. What was that, I wonder? Brings under the clock. Seems to have been joined by less curious shuffling sound. Yeah, what's going on? It's like an unfit middle-aged man running from pillar to post. Who are you calling? Oh, gee. Inspector Gregson, what are you doing here? What am I? Isn't it flaming obvious? 15 seconds remaining, Inspector. Oh, I want the time later, sunshine. Good morning, Lord Stronghart. Wow, he's really looking fiercely at his pocket watch today. And good morning to you. Business so early in the day? Oh, yes, well, I mean, the other day, ready to deliver our report, Lord Stronghart, as our dealings with Mr. Netsumi are now over. Yes, little Japanese man, reporting cast my eyes over Van Zeke's report. I'll say the outcome surprised me. I thank you for a job well done. You are too kind, my lord. It's not here, it's not there, it's not over there either. We don't mind me asking, but what exactly is the inspector doing? He's been carrying around between the bookshelves. People are predicting their work. The Lion's Pride. There's an all too familiar title. It was a popular tale, so I obtained a copy from the rental library. However, it wasn't able to maintain my interest, so I soon cast it aside. I noticed a vacant spot on one of my shelves at the time. We stowed the book there. Unfortunately, I no longer remember where that was. Not there. Not there either. We'll go back today, so I've asked Greg to locate for me with his investigative prowess. Indeed, inside 5 minutes. I must say, I've never seen anyone working so hard to find something. He's like a man possessed. Ah yes, that's because his month's salary is staked upon the outcome. Whose instigation, let me guess. 5 minute time limit? What's the significance of that? Sure is done, just my vulgar, mischievous spirit showing to some. Oh. By your own admission. Gar, I can't. My feet are killing me. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up, Inspector. Gar. Means the next month you will work unpaid and have no days off. No days off. Oh. Or Gregson. Even if he is a systematic killer. There are just so many books here. It's overwhelming. For some, perhaps, I've purchased every book, new or old, on the subject of law from all over the globe. When I believed it a few short decades ago, a place like this couldn't have existed. What do you mean, Inspector? As a lad, no one ever dreamed of buying books. Oh, I see. Western books are luxury items, I suppose, with the love of covers and fancy bindings. No, that's not it. Oh. There's a tax on paper, you see. On paper? Yeah, I mean, it was abolished about 30 years back now, but it used to be the case. There was a tax levied on any kind of paper. Obviously, that meant most folk couldn't afford to buy any books at all. So is that why places like the rental library you mentioned before came into existence, Lord Stronghart? Indeed, masters of the paper tax system, you could say. The Republic considers books as items for hire. London is home to a vast lending library of 3.5 million books. You can hope to read all of that even if you were reincarnated 10,000 times. And I would choose to rent a book rather than purchase it if I knew I would read it infrequently. Subject to tax is actually surprised already in the last few days. Good, Mr. Spencer, we tried. It seems that the window in this room was filled in due to some kind of window tax. That would be true. Fortunately, window tax was abolished 40 years ago. Until in the East End, in particular, many windowless houses remained. There's always a bit of thing for tax stuff. Whenever they tax sugar, salt, tea, coffee, you name it, candles, beards. Wait, what was that last one? Did you say beards? Yep, beard tax. Never heard of it? Never. Why should people have to pay money just because they let their facial hair grow? You may well ask. I suppose it's because it makes them look self-important. Naruhodos will have a strict family policy of no facial hair, I think. I know, Johan. Amazing. You can relax. The beard tax was confined in annals of history long ago. Even so, it's clearly something the British really love. Paying taxes, I mean. Paying them? You got that back to front, sunshine. You can't deny you've had a lot of funny taxes over the years. Never find anything like that in Japan. Would you, Mrs. Otto? In actual fact, I'm afraid to say that you would, Mr. Naruhodo. What? No. What, you don't mean? There's never been a window tax in Japan? No, but there have been similarly obscure taxes. For example, in the Edo period, there was a frontage tax. What was that? A tax not on windows, but on the entrance to properties. Larger property's entrance was, the greater the tax that was levied on it. Even today, some mansions survive with extremely narrow entrances due to that old form of taxation. I had no idea. Huh, see, Japanese are as twisted as Brits. We never had a beard tax. I mean, there's really a step too far. Well, no, that's true. I'm not aware of any taxes for beards, at least. What do you mean, at least? Well, rather than tax them, the shogunate did once prohibit them outright. Ruling class prohibited beards? It was called the Great Beard Prohibition. Edo period verdict. Why did the powers that want to ban beards? It makes people look self-important? It's just an idea. We've seen that rulers in the East and the West have had very similar ideas over the years. There have been other unusual taxes in our history, even in our current Meiji period. There have? For example, though it was before either of us were born, there was a rabbit tax. There was a tax on whose adorable fluffy creatures, like the ones who make mochi sweets on the moon? Yes, and it was an extremely large tax, too. Government demanded extraordinary sums of money. Excuse stranger, what was the reason for the bizarre tax, then? Well, after Japan opened its doors to the world, an unprecedented rabbit boom in the Meiji capital. A boom? Yes, keeping rabbits became hugely popular, and new species were traded at exorbitant prices. We've even swindled out of all their money for exotically colored rabbits. Like colored chicks, I suppose. Hard to imagine, though rabbits are so timid and quiet, wouldn't have thought one could bankrupt you. In response to this worrying social vogue, the government imposed a rabbit tax, because they couldn't just ignore the problem. And it worked because the rabbit boom came to an abrupt end. 6 years later, the tax was abolished. Well, I hate to say it about my own country, but Japan is strange. There's more. After the rabbit tax was abolished, then, of course, society reacted by launching straight into a second rabbit boom. Oh dear, government didn't think that one through, did they? That's amazing, Johan. Views about the world are very much altered by the position you hold in society. If you were responsible for running the country, you will need to raise revenue keenly. Oh, stable taxation system, the whole country would go down the drain. Well, yeah, I suppose so. Some of these taxes. Especially when ministers of state use their wilies to invent new novel ways of taxing the public. Novel ways? Tell me, Mr. Naruhodo, if you were one of my country's statesmen, me, a British statesman, yes, what novel tax would you impose? Something truly original. Set 5 seconds. Oh, Excuse me, everyone uses Mr. Naruhodo. I really screwed your pen on the that's quite a intense stare. Time is up. So, what's your answer? Well, air, maybe. Yes, how about air? An air tax, you say. Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. A truly novel and fiendish idea. Everyone has to breathe, so while the population is inhaling air, my government is inhaling money. Blimey, you're a tyrant at heart, eh? A radical solution to a country's revenue problems, but sadly not an original one. No, you mean to say... Surely not. You mean a tax on air has been imposed in the past? Because last century, finance minister of our neighbor France proposed it. What? If I ever go over a visit, I'm holding my breath. Unsurprisingly, it was strongly opposed by the public in some scrap. The minister didn't last long either. Oh dear, although clearly that would have been an untenable situation. The public at large are a force to be reckoned with. Don't I know it? How about you, Inspector? What tax would you impose? Let me see. A tax on objection. Been hearing far too many of the recently in court. There's a particular rule I haven't wanted to have, so I think an objection tax could be handy. Good to see you don't allow your personal feuds to influence your work in public office. 5 pence for rejecting a raise would be about right. Most amusing proposal, Gregson. Most amusing proposal, my lord. Or unamusing. Well then, I think it's your turn now. Sorry, my turn for what? Why, what else? Locate the copy of Lion's Pride. Oh, it's on one of the shelves in the room with them, sir. Now I shall give you 10 minutes. Now let's take your student stipend on it. Fail the booking and forfeit next month's payment. Objection? Your time starts now. Oh, and one more thing. I believe you just said the word objection. Kindly leave your 5 pence over there before you begin combing the shelves. This tax is going to be the death of me. Well, I was going to do Star Wars tonight, but I guess these extras are going to take longer than I thought. Good morning, Iris. Good morning, Mr. Sholmes. Oh, morning, Susie. I'll get breakfast on the table for us all. Ah, Mr. Sholmes. Morning. Come now. Why the long face? Oh, sorry. Thing is, I just had a rather strange envelope post under the door this morning. Rather strange things inside. What strange things? Ooh, what was it, Reno? Do I get just a mystery in the air? Nothing so exciting, I'm afraid, Iris. It was just 5 orange pips. We could possibly. What? Orange pips, Mr. Naruto, and for 5 of them? What's the matter with you? That's a bit of overreaction, isn't it? Overreaction, Mr. Naruto. You don't understand. A warning, a notice of imminent danger to your life. What? To my life? What's the meaning of all this, Mr. Sholmes? My dear fellow, why do you even make such an inquiry from me? Because the name of the sender was written on the envelope, and it was yours! Oh, you're right, Reno. It's sent by Sholmes, envoy of hell. Ha 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 ha. So, my little boy has been exposed. Well, so be it. Cast your mind back, if you will, Mr. Naruto, to the time of our dining last night. Oh, yes, Mr. Zelda cooked Japanese food for us. Indeed, in particular, I recall the final Normimaki sushi roll that I was about to savor. That is before you swooped in with your clacking chopsticks and filched it from under my nose. Oh, I assume because you left it that you didn't want it. I left it, my dear fellow, because I had planned to enjoy it at the very last mouthful. Sure, you must have noted my intent, but the subtle dilation of my right pupil. Because a clearer sign would be helpful next time, just an idea. In summary, the post you received earlier is a notice of impending revenge. You should be clicking in your boots. Really? So I went straight out into the garden and planted them. I'm hopeful we may grow some exotic fruit. No point in saying a notice of impending revenge if the person you send it doesn't know what it is. Well, I knew, of course, because I've read this book, The Adventure of Herlock Sholmes. On sale now in major London bookshops and receiving rave reviews. Oh, yes, of course, it's been published, has it? I hear it's selling very well. It is. 12 short stories in 1 volume. I've earned a lifetime spending money already. Has further bolstered my name. In fact, only the other day, a Bohemian king sought to engage my services. How come you have rent problems? Oh, oops. I got a little carried away there. Extraordinary. Of course, a gentleman persisted with some pretense about being a fishmonger for the duration. Oh yeah, I've heard this is an actual Sherlock Holmes story. Huh. But only a fool would presume to be able to deceive my eyes with a charade. How did you know that he was a king then? Why, there is no mystery, my dear fellow. A distinct smell of fish accompanied the man slowly at the barrel. He tried to hide the left side of his mustache covered in quite a manifest manner. Mr. Sholmes. Simply brilliant. Having neatly resolved the case of the man, I was sent a quantity of fresh cod to the market for pre-season. I think perhaps you shouldn't discount the possibility that he actually was a fishmonger. Is that... Can anyone else smell burning? Oh yes, you're right. And look, smoke! I think maybe... Fire! Fire! There's a fire, everyone! Really, a fire? We must all leave at once. Everyone, get out of the building. Wait, I have to go back to my room first. Are you deranged? If you're not fixated by this, the place will burn you to death. My Daruma doll. I can't let my Daruma burn. It means too much. Ah, oh, drat. Sorry, but I'm big attachment upstairs. Ha ha ha. Oh, Rudo, you're so funny. No time for jokes, Iris. Go quickly. Get out of here. But there is no fire. Is there really? Huh? Ah, what a delight to see that boy enacted in the flesh. I wouldn't have dared to dream I should be so lucky, Miss Susato. Ha 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 ha. Indeed, 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 it was a ploy. A delicate injured here by my plucky spirit. It was all a trick, but why? It is a simple experiment of the mind, Miss Naruto. His life is threatened. Fellows compelled instinctively to protect that property to which he attaches matching importance. After your own life, Rito, the most important thing to you seems your Daruma doll. Let's not dwell on that, shall we, Iris? So you knew all along, Miss Susato, that it was a trick. Yes, of course. The very ploy described in this book, The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. On sale now in the major... Again. I've used that device quite satisfactorily in the past to solve a case. Oh yes, it was a great success, wasn't it? Then it became something of a habit, didn't it? You started yelling fire at every crime scene. In the end, people started to pay no attention to you at all. Yes, that's true. There was a time when I was known as the Sholmes who cried wolf. I think there's a lesson to be learned in there somewhere. Tell my little ploy failed to yield results this time. I was utterly unmoved. What do you mean? Well, I was anticipating that Iris would immediately expose her secret hiding place. Location of the nest egg she must have cached somewhere in this room. Nest egg? You think Iris has some secret savings? Naturally, the book is selling like hotcakes after all. There's a simple deduction indeed to conclude that the profits must be concealed here within these walls. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, are you in need of money? I bet I know what it is. It's that new microscope that's gone on sale, isn't it, Hurley? What else? I have such a strong desire to own one, yet my purse is 1 pound too light. As no loan has been forthcoming, I have been forced to resort to an alternative stratagem. Hee hee, sorry Hurley, but I'm not falling for that. Not coming from the Sholmes who cried wolf. Ah, how vexing. You really shouldn't be trying to steal a 10-year-old savings, you know. The book is full of little tricks like that, you see. The armory of the great detective. Then in this case, both the orange pips and the fake fire fell a little flat, didn't they? Oh, I have plenty more tricks up my sleeve. Take, for example, the case of the Boscombe Valley mystery. I'm already filled with dread just from the title. It's a tale of extraordinary skill on the part of the great detective. The skill tracking. Tracking? When I arrived at the scene of the crime in the Eponymous Valley, there were footprints everywhere. I was really drawn to one side in particular. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, it's truly remarkable. As you know, my dear madam, no detail, no matter how small, escapes the scrutiny of these eyes. I tracked my quarry, following the trail of his footprints, all the way to the man's place of residence. Led you directly to the culprit's house? What a triumph. You misunderstand. It led me directly to my own house, my dear fellow. Huh? The footprints of my father's were made by my own shoes. Hurley had left here for Boscombe Valley as soon as he received the telegram about the case, you see. Then he followed his own trail straight back here to Baker Street. No, Iris, please, you make it sound almost humdrum, and I assure you, it is no easy feat. Talking of this nature, is the skepticism only by the great Sherlock Holmes? You're right, it really is extraordinary. Quite so extraordinary is the word. Let it be the last on the subject. Anyway, needless to say, I subsequently went on to solve the case with various other deductions. Yes, it's the various other deductions that I'm interested in. Ah, well, you shall have to read the book then. Iris penned it with her usual flourish. Well, absolutely, I put my ingenious spin on the great detective's exploits. It's been very ingenious to make this man sound even more remotely credible as a detective. What is that? I like someone's brain again. I had no devilment for one day, Mr. Sholmes. Put your puckish spirit to bed. Oh, I assure this has nothing to do with me or my spirit. What? Oh no, the smoke is getting thicker. I mean, it's not a trick this time? There's a... Fire, there's a fire, everyone. What's up, where are you going? Stand aside, Mr. Naruto. Easy, Mr. Sholmes, what are you? Mr. Sholmes, I just checked that busted point on the floor. Oh, look at that. And I'm on the broken question. Coins, sovereigns, in fact, worth a whole pound each. Remember, we must leave at once. Evacuate the building. Hee. You fell for it, Hurley. Hook, line, and sinker. Wait, you mean Iris? Certainly wouldn't have guessed that's where you'd hidden it. You mean to say that this smoke was... My own bucket spirit needs to come out and place on that too, you know. What? Of course, I know what it is, Iris. The indoor herb garden set that went on sale last week, isn't it? That's what you're after. I want one, so desperately, but I'm 4 pounds short. Even though you told me you didn't have any money to spare before. I knew you'd have a secret nest egg somewhere in this room. Arg, you've outwitted me again. You really shouldn't let yourself be outwitted by a 10-year-old child, you know. So thank you for the loan, Hurley. Oh, but wait. What's the matter? Where's Susie? She's disappeared. Yeah, she ran up the stairs, didn't she? Oh, what are you also doing in here? We have to evacuate. Tell me what the fire is. Sorry, Susie. Children will get up to mischief once in a while, you know, but it's all perfectly harmless. Harmless, maybe, but it's so devious. Oh well, at least nobody was hurt. Apart from Napoleon and my secret hoard. Now tell us, Mrs. What is it that you went so flatly to catch? Sorry? Oh, no, nothing. This is just, no, it's nothing. Susie, that's... Your notebook detailing all of Bruno's trials, isn't it? It's bulging at the seams. What? A testament to the various people you've helped over the past months. Mrs. Otto, Well, I am your judicial assistant after all. I would do anything to ensure the safety of these records. Even risk my life if necessary. I mean, very important to me. It's like a diary of everything we've achieved together. Stark contrast to a certain someone who would have fetched his Daruma doll, I must say. Oh, my voice is going to be shot after this. Hello, I'm back. Oh, hello, Mr. Naruto. Did you have a good outing? Hi, Runo. What's the matter? Your eyes are as big as dinner plates. Iris, I wasn't expecting to see you here. Just made some tea, Mr. Naruto. Would you like a cup? A cup or two? Yes. Definite tea. Haha. Alright, now what's going on? You're acting extremely strangely. What? Me? No, not at all. I'm as normal can be. Normal tea yourself. See? Not again, Mr. Naruto. Sorry, not what again? What do you mean, Susie? He goes out on his own leads, always seems to come back with a peculiar new purchase. Peculiar, what's peculiar about the things I bought? You seem to think that anything British is a curio you must have. You buy items of bric-a-brac even though you don't know what they are. Well, there are rather a lot of bric-a-brac shops and pawnbrokers I like around here. When I've been to Lord Strongard's to give my weekly report, I'm always so nervous beforehand. On the way home, I just find myself in these shops and I bought something. You're right, you can't deny it because your eyes are wider than ever. You really ought to put a warning sign about them. They're bigger than the bottles around here. It's hard to resist things in the bric-a-brac shop. Also cheap. This shows are giving me lots of useful advice about how to pick out the real bargains. Let's remember that really likes to have fun with you. Take his advice with a big pinch of salt. Well, that's true. That thing he told me was a pot stand wasn't a pot stand at all. I would guess it was a collapsible top hat. I never guessed that you could fill up this once empty room so quickly. Honestly, it's overflowing with things we don't need now. Look at those scales, not once have you weighed something on them. I know, but ever since I first stood at the defense's bench in court, I don't know why, but I just really wanted my own little set of scales. Let's see them, Miss Naruto. What have you come home with today? Oh, well, it's, one of these. What is it? It's all dry and shriveled up in a ball. Really, Mr. Naruto, what is it? It's a sea anemone. An anemone? Yes, I mean, I know it doesn't look like it at the moment. It's all shriveled up, like you said. Are sea anemones living creatures? The ones that dance about on the seabed? Yeah, exactly, the ones that dance about on the seabed. Oh, they sell sea anemones at bric-a-brac shops here in Britain? I don't know whether they normally do or not, but I do know I bought one today. Why, Runo? What's up, Shoal? Yeah, don't stay because you want to do it blind. I'm actually doing bonus content that's not technically related, but there are some spoilers, so good time to go. But thanks for stopping by. It's good to see you. I was gonna play Star Wars, but this is taking a little bit longer than I expected. Aquarium? I don't know that word. Glad to hear you're doing well. Well, according to the shopkeeper, keeping sea creatures and snakes was usually popular here in London before. Oh yeah, some people have some beautiful fish in seawater tanks, it's true. Having an aquarium became popular because the old glass tax was abolished. There it is again, rear its ugly head, the subject of taxation. The real craze for a while. Everyone in London had one for a while. Yes, it didn't last long. People's enthusiasm soon waned. It's just far too much work to be changing the seawater regularly in a city like London. There are truer words said, I'm sure. You'd think people might have realized that from the start, really, wouldn't you? Anyway, that was long before I was born. So now everyone jokes that there's an unloved aquarium covered in dust in every attic in the capital. Sure, there's one in this attic too. I told the man in the bric-a-brac shop about it. He had these words of wisdom. That's why this is the age of the sea anemone, and that made a lot of sense to me. It made sense to you, did it? Bruno, this anemone is completely dried up. Soak it in water overnight, it'll be as good as new. That's what the man said. I'm sure that it works the same way as dry wakame seaweed. I'm just going to buy some prawns to give this little fellow company. How exciting! You're obviously teaming with life. Will it really? Britain's a funny country, though. I mean, a sea anemone craze. Well, they say people in glass houses get about comments like that here, Mr. Naruto. I forget that there was a very curious rabbit craze in our own country. Horrifying chapter people try to erase from the history books 100 years from now, I'm sure. Another craze as well before the aquarium one. Heard of Wardian cases. Wardy what? No, not heard of them. There are little glazed cases of growing plants indoors, I believe. Oh, I see. For plant lovers, raise their favorite tropical plants. That's right, like different types of ferns. Ferns? Those rather dull plants with lots of fronds for leaves. Not dull at all. Ferns are lovely plants. People wanted to recreate the exotic foliage of the tropics in their own homes. They grew ferns. I mean, ferns. Sea anemones, Londoners certainly have a knack for the obscure. Well, thinking about it. Oh, man. Oh man, wow, I'm way too tired. The more obscure something is, the more it interests people. Maybe. Anyway, the warding case didn't last very long. Now, those little kids are just gathering dust, I think. Have I seen one in your room, Iris? Oh, very observant of you, Susie. Yes, that's right. Mine's still not gathering dust, microtropical herbs in it. Well, Mr. Naruhodo, I really must ask you to stop all this frivolous buying from strange things. Alright, sorry. It's just that, well... Yo, Mr. Sholmes' room. He has all sorts of peculiar trinkets laying around. Oh, well, yes, that's true, and they seem to be growing in number. Blow pipe, a few barrel crystals, and a twisted piece of gold, gold from pin's nest. Oh, gramophone recorder in the other day. I just into the gramophone, but it was just a whispering voice saying Norbury and nothing more. What could it possibly be about? Those are all mementos of cases Hurley solved over the years. Exactly, that's what I want to create in here. That atmosphere. Ah, a room full of meaningful trinkets, each with their own unique history, you mean? Yes, that. I knew you'd understand, Mrs. Otto. Mr. Naruhodo, none of the things you brought for the room have any connection with our cases. Oh, don't they? Oh, for example, take that splendid but rather weather-beaten top hat. It wasn't used as evidence in any case we worked on, was it? Oh, so you have two top hats if you count the collapsible one as well. The collapsible one is a pot stand, as far as I'm concerned anyway. We were core, they were everywhere, weren't they? Top hats, I mean. Well, you're in Britain, of course. No, Michael, but true gentleman, so that's hardly surprising. Man isn't wearing a top hat when he ventures out of the doors, he'll be looked down upon. Gosh, it has very strict rules, doesn't it? English gentleman's code. What about wondering how I look at a top hat recently? After all, my university uniform is black, so I think it could be in keeping. Oh, what a good idea. Go on then, try it on. Ha 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 ha. Lesson here, I suppose, is that the juxtaposition of student gentlemen is just so strange and wrong. Rather, it didn't suit me anyway. I mean, these hats are ridiculous. I'd be willing to bet every foreigner who sees one of these for the rest thinks the same thing. Why's that man wearing a chimney on his head? People in glass houses, remember? What do you mean? Oh, what about Japanese crone made top knots? Those haircuts are the height of ridiculousness. True. At least you can take a hat off. Once you have a grown mage, it's con mage, it's con your head for good. Sorry, I don't know why I got the R in there. But every foreigner sees a con mage for the first time thinks exactly the same thing. Why is that man wearing a cannon on his head? So that's what it means to have different cultures, isn't it? On the subject of hats, the one Mr. Sholmes always wears is really very strange, don't you think? I beg your pardon, Mr. Naruhodo. What a thing to say. That hat is the essence of Mr. Sholmes. Yes, without his deer stalker, the great detective would be unrecognizable. It's called a deer stalker. Swanky name. It's out of 100, just like the flat cap. I made up my mind long ago to visit Regent Street and buy one for myself. Not sure it's going to fit over your hair. I think it's perfect for a great detective who stalks criminal quarry. What do you think is strange about it anyway? Well, you've seen it. It has two brims, one at the front, one at the back. Why do you need two brims and a hat? Surely one at the front is enough, no? One moment, please. Ask me, it's just Mr. Sholmes' madcap personality coming through. Right, so that he doesn't have to think about which way around to put it on or something like that. Mr. Sholmes does not have a madcap personality. He's always had a cleared head. These stalkers were made for hunters who had to hide in thickets when they were stalking their prey. Remember, the bag was designed to stop the stalks so plants scratch the back of their necks. Oh, that's the reason. Thank you guys for educating us. He doesn't spend a lot of time in thickets, though, does he? Well, no, that's true. I'm telling you, it's just his impetuous personality. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it for a minute. Ah, there you all are. Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Sholmes. It's not long since some tea, Mr. Sholmes. Would you like a cup? Would you like a cup? See, I come at a good time, Mr. Zato. Thank you. Now, I have something I should like all of you to see. There's a brand new Great Detective's hat. What the? There's a brim at the front and at the back and at both sides. 4 brims. Occupation is going correct, my dear madam. I'm a busy man, you see, but with this hat, whichever way you put it on, so always have it pointed the correct way. Oh. previous hit, I could, in an impetuous moment, wear an arrow suit with the corpse on either side. That's impressively clumsy, I would say. I must regretfully say, I think your madcap theory was correct after all. Really, Mr. Jones, with brims on all four sides like that, wouldn't it just be better to wear a top hat instead? Oh yes, and however you put it on, you'd have a brim all around. What? So true, so true. How could I have been so blinkered by this fact till now? Fortunately, I happen to have two top hats here. We just lift the pot off it. You're welcome to try the one there. Indeed I shall, my good fellow. Much obliged. Ha ha ha. Oh dear, he looks terrible. More terrible than I could possibly imagine. Oh, that's not good. Maybe it's because of your long face, but the tall hat doesn't work. I think it's very nice, Mr. Jones, even if it will have the whole world in fits of laughter. Arg! I should never meddle with it. Even my dear soccer. I will do it forevermore. Even my regulation in university forevermore. There's still hope that you'll graduate one day, Mr. Naruto. Don't give up. Silly. Alright, I'm starting to get tired. Okay. So, Mr. Natsumi, are you really returning home? Japan? Yes, indeed I am. Everything is arranged already. We'll be sad to see you go. And after Runa works hard to prove your innocence as well. What a shame. I think it was a waste of effort. Don't say that. I know what you're suggesting. Now calm down, Mr. Natsumi. It's all fine, really. You are in good company here, sir. You fear the Reaper. You needn't hide the fact. I'm a proud citizen of the Empire of Japan. I'm not scared of cats. I got a cat. I just casually threw one among the pigeons there. Man, like me belongs to Japan, not here. That's what I've come to realize. I wonder, a mustache such as yours is eminently suited to London, I would say. There's just another cat, and when I arrived in the city, I noticed. London laughs me behind my back like hyenas. Alright. I'm not sure that's true, Master Natsumi. Oh, but it is. I turn around, peer down. I see foreigners everywhere. There's Yurino and Susie in here, and that's 3 foreigners out of 5 people, I take your point. Only the other day, I was like to stroll in the fog when a young man approached me from behind. Pale and gaunt, his back, arms like a cat. His rush just moved me so deeply. Ah, that's myself. They're not the only ones over in the cell, but you know what? Can you imagine? I was with my own reflection in a shop window. A singing super fine surprise. Good slap in the face. I started laughing at me, gentlemen are there about ladies passing by. Even the man in the shop window. Ah, yes, and a certain great detective would like to be included among the mirthful. Arg! That was really good for Zeki-san today. Well, everyone think you're very handsome, man, Mr. Natsumi. There, you hear that? The 10-year-old girl thinks you're handsome. Isn't that wonderful? Makes you feel suspiciously warm inside. He looks delighted. The point is, Japanese are humble and modest, studying on foreign soils around a bit for people. I'm sorry I missed it. I could possibly enjoy that. No one, it's impossible. You're genuine Japanese. If you say so. Actually, it would appear there is someone. Japanese man who studied in a foreign country and seems to have thrived on the experience. There is. Mr. Ogai Mori, I believe he studied in Germany. Mr. Mori, pray tell us more of the fellow. Today he's a very successful author in Japan. Oh, I've heard of him. He's the professor of Mahime, isn't he? Mahime? I suppose English that would be Dancing Queen, maybe? Oh, I see. The woman who waltzed her way through the world, perhaps? We need to make up a silly translation, you know. It's officially called the Dancing Girl in English. Mr. Mori greatly enjoyed his time in Germany. He became close with a local lady while he was there. Close, you say? What, with a local lady? Okay, just criminally contradictory conduct? Well, I suppose your experience of studying abroad depends to a large extent of your character. As they say, many men, many minds. Or has an open mind, Mr. Natsumi, a closed one. Possibly a slight black and white view, don't you think, Mr. Sholmes? Anyway, if that's how you feel about being abroad, why did you choose to study here? For our nations understand the English language or something? Yes, that's right. What are you doing in Japan before you came to Great Britain? I was a school teacher. Of English, of course. The courage for brats I've managed to discover recipe phrase by Mr. Natsumi's teacher days. That's just a little outside of the field of law, isn't it? So, well, that goes to your question, Mr. Naruhodo. You have to translate the English phrase, I love you, into Japanese, what would it become? Easy. Aishituru or Seksuki Desu. Ron, according to Mr. Natsumi's teachings at least. What? They do explain, Mr. Natsumi. Yes, of course. Your research is very thorough. I always used to tell my students, Japanese don't express themselves that way. Rather, we might say, Tsuki ga kiri desu ni. Oh, dear Natsumi, I must interject. Tsuki ga kiri desu ni will translate as the moon is beautiful, isn't it? I know that! Point is that we Japanese are reticent when it comes to our expression of emotion. For the short feelings of adoration are Tsuki by appreciation of the beauty of the moon, the Tsuki. Using the Tsuki to express Tsuki. It's an amusing play on words, I see. No, or in language you might understand better. Bad Sholmes! Not a play on words, it's subtle, it's humble, it's fleeting and beautiful, it's art! Isn't it just being shy? My dear fellow, the foreign dancing girl will forever be out of your reach with such an attitude. Imagine how the great Mr. Mori would act. He would win the lady's heart in a flash, with a well-placed and unrestrained. I love you. Arr! That's smooth Mr. Mori. Am I just to live in the shadow forever? For fantasy, the imagination of yours. I just can't settle in this foggy London town with all its foreign inhabitants. I lost count of the number of different lodgings I tried before I found myself here. As it happens, I even lived on Baker Street at one time. Oh, really? A Sal scholar lives near there, but the name of William James Craig. Knowledge of Sal is unsurpassed. The greatest provision me over the... Forgive the interruption, but am I supposed to be familiar with this Sal which you speak? It's Shakespeare, of course, Shakespeare, but in Japanese, we write it as Sa and O. Phonetic representation using kanji characters. So England is Igiritsu and America is America. I think of it, we use the same character as Ri in one word and Risu in another, talk about confusing. So Shakespeare is Sao in Japan. Presumably the Sa is a brutal attempt at the first Sha, in which case where is the Shakespeare? Never thought of that, we only have the O left. But even in the most charitable interpretation, only be a brutal attempt at old man. Whoever had the job of deciding the characters was a temporary report. Complete. Kanji. Character. Catastrophe. So then, on to the burning question. What about me? I just write my name. Sorry. Sherlock Holmes, my dear fellow. There must be Japanese characters for my name. Oh dear, I am sorry, Mr. Sholmes, but none exist that I'm aware of. What? Am I really nothing to Japanese? In that case, it doesn't matter. Private importance. Let's construct my name in kanji at once. Oh, well, we could use a kanji that's pronounced so to start, and then there's more to give. So, oh. That'd be alright, Mr. Sholmes. But that's almost the same as Sao, isn't it? Yes, you employed the dreaded O. I don't want people to confuse me with an old man who died centuries ago. But the world's greatest literary figures would rather not be confused with you either. Well, the world's greatest detective is so youthful and full of vigor. So how about... So handsome. Oh yes, that sounds wonderful. I'm sure everyone will be calling you that 100 years from now. How could you say that with a straight face? What about me then, Iris? Perhaps Ahimi? Like a character doesn't seem to matter. Ahimi, oh yes, Princess of Love. That's an adorable name for you, Iris. Oh boy. Stop, please, with a name like that. Mr. Moore is like the temper anymore. I should declare I love you. The more I sound has become quite a character. It's just like it sounds mine. You, Mr. Naruto. My adventure. Kurubozu is a fitting name for you, as in the Dark Monk. Oh, that's very good. That's actually perfectly real. You'll be wearing this black varsity uniform for the rest of my days, do you? Naruto has a Japanese name. I don't believe he needs another. Well, anyway. We were talking about your life here in London, weren't we, Mr. Natsumi? Should we go out and have fun? That lady said much to me too. Was scared of him? It wasn't fun at all. It was frightful. What do you mean? Cycle incident. An incident? On a bicycle? Oh yes, come to think of it. Oh dear. Oh dear. No bicycle parked outside, isn't there? Better say no to her. She says I'd take it for a ride. Perhaps the pronunciation was wrong. My life in my hands, up to the right of steels. Better web sailing to a nearby park. I really don't think there's anything wrong with the pronunciation necessary. Here just isn't the kind of woman to take no for an answer. You're going to die. You might as well die in beautiful shrines. The park was my third slot. Roll David dies icy with death emerged. With relatively minor bruises. Got the knack of it. Don't be silly. Dying. That's something you can learn to do. It's not to me. You keep talking about dicing with death and dying and so forth, but alright, bicycle's supposed to be fun. Oh no, that's just what people tell you. It's an old wives' tale. Is it? I mean, just consider the real name of the vehicle. It's not called a dicycle for nothing. Okay, I should do something to aptly name a vehicle to move forward is beyond me. Pedal power promises pain. I think it was possible to get worse with practice. Lucky to be alive, although I must say, look at death in the eye for a whole week. I was standing with a few wobbles, I get progress in the right direction. What triumph. I should as much the same when first presented with the problem, the mental exertion and trying to solve the limits of it. Alright, we can pick one carefully along the path, reasoning one again to see the results. So is that why all of your optic objectives always seem to have baked? What a wonderful insight into your extraordinary mind, Mr. Sholmes. Unfortunately, after wobbling down the street, I noticed there were little stones everywhere. Not traps. Not that way, I said to myself. The wild vehicle wouldn't listen. Of course, I hit one of those daily stones and the cozy cold through me. Just my luck. Let's go to the epitome of my pitiful life. I wish I could disagree. The same subject. I'm sure there's a famous American author who's written about having a similar experience. Oh yes, I've read that essay too, Iris. Some of us are better read than others. Well, no more bicycles for me. Oh, Mr. Natsumi, at least you have an antidote to take back with you to Japan and anything else. You put a positive spin on things, don't you, Mrs. Zato? First, I haven't mounted a bike for some time. No, me neither. That's good. So how about a jaunt? We should ride together, huh? That's great. I'll perch behind Mrs. Otto. But the sun's going down. The pitch black London streetlights are very bright, you know. August is too thick today, but my beloved ride is all about being out of shape, my dear fellow. If you're bound on top of the vehicle anyway, it's saying that's already been out of shape. Till then, come along, Mr. Natsumi, shall we go? Suki ga Kiri Desuni. Don't tell me that's his translation for no thank you as well. You Mr. Natsumi, the moon is at its most beautiful precisely this time of the evening. Oh. You're not Japanese, you can't beat around the bush with us. What a weird and wonderful world! Okay, two more. Constable early beat, reporting for duty. Thanks to the good officers of London and Zeke. I'm back on the beat here in the capital, doing my best for the good citizens of London, sir. My Raleigh, back in his Bobby's uniform. He couldn't look even more handsome if he tried. My love, you see the sweetest things. Oh, Pat. Oh, Raleigh. To us, or Van Zeeks isn't going to be at all. Oh no, of course not. He's patron saint of Bobby's. Patron saint. Oh yes, Pat, you're so right, my darling. Oh, my first day back, what did I find in the gutter? A shilling, my love, a whole shilling. Oh, Raleigh, I always believed in you. I was going to need to find some big, small change. Is that shilling? I could buy you a cheap bunch. Contain a single flower, my sugar. A single flower. Oh, how romantic. Oh, I'm so sorry, Pat. Only moments ago that shilling disappeared. Disappeared, but how, my love? How? It maybe no, I'm sure. It was this girl here I saw. You swiped my precious shilling, didn't you, cheeky little diver? Blimey. You took your time getting around me, didn't you? I thought the lovey-dovey so weren't gonna end. So, a shilling, you say? Lifting from your word? Don't know nothing about it. Where's the evidence, eh? And did the evidence answer on the back of your hand, young lady? You told me you lived in my pocket just now. You got a nerve stealing from a Bobby. Call this. Come on. How you know it? How could you know I was just taken just now or not? You me? You don't get it, do you? You've hardly got a penny to our name, so that coin felt as heavy to me as a bar of gold. Eh? I'm telling you, the moment it left my pocket, I knew. I felt myself get a few good pounds later. Ah. Yep, that coin has got my blood, sweat, and tears all over it. What's the matter with you, Mr. Naruto? Huh? Me? Sorry. What's the trouble with you? You're supposed to be there straight away, not an hour later. It's my fault. I haven't stolen anything. What about you, eh, Shums? I thought you were supposed to be a great detective. You're me, Miss Lestrade. Took your time getting around to me, didn't you? I thought that last few was never going to end. You only said give us a minute when we spotted you over the road and said hello. That was 10 minutes ago, Ginny. You've just been standing here listening to your court with the Bobby. Beg your pardon, man. We shouldn't be trouble with the public with police business. It belongs to us, doesn't it, Raleigh? Of course it does, my love. It's just for you and me, my darling. Grr. Supposed to be a nice stroll with Iris and Mr. Jones before afternoon tea. I'm about to run into another fiasco on Briar Road. I don't really see how we could be of any help, Gina. There's no way of knowing who the coin really belongs to if it was just dropped in the gutter. I don't be so sure of that, Bruno. What? I have a feeling I might know the answer to the question of whose coin that is. Let's hear your deduction. Well, there's actually a reason why I suggested stroll down Briar Road. Well, what reason? I suggested today, and well, I dropped a little something, so I wanted to come and look for it. Wait, you dropped something? You don't mean... It was the pocket money that Hurley gave me. You dropped the pocket money. I'm sorry. I went to the market on Lime Street to pick up some herbs. Oh, I must have dropped it. The 1 shilling coin you gave me. Oh, a 1 bob bit. Yes, and when I thought back over the route I took, I realized I must have dropped it here. Well, you haven't seen it, have you? It's all my pocket money now. It's gone. Well, I'm afraid I don't know anything about that, young lady. Well, we're on luck dropping your money like that. Sorry. There's the Consequences Committee will give you a run for your money with those wide eyes. If it's all the same to you, I think I prefer not to be used as a yardstick for looking guilty. Well, it's tough, really, ain't it, Iris? You dropped it, so it ain't yours no more. Anyway, you know what they say, what goes around comes around, so don't feel bad. Look, Iris, it doesn't look like you're going to get your coin back. Oh, I can't believe I lost it. After Hurley gave it to me. Yes, regrettable indeed. I seem to recall that particular coin was rather significant. What do you mean, significant? To be specific, it was especially significant to you, Bruno. Significant to me. You don't mean it was the coin last night's wager? Are you saying, my dear fellow? What's this saying? What wager? Poker? Pick a card game. You mean as a lawyer? Poker face. You'd never be able to what I'm thinking, said he. Clarence from our heart of his entire fortune was even easier than finding the 19th thoroughbed. It was so infuriating, relieving it now makes me grit my teeth. Grit my teeth. Sorry, Iris, I never did to pay back the money out of you, but you have to wait, I'm afraid. Oh yes, I know. Don't worry, next month is fine. I guess out of your whole fortune, it was 1 whole shilling, my entire monthly stipend, and I lost all of it as I handed over to Mr. Schultz, gritted my teeth, my heart, my gums started to bleed. Real exaggerate, that's a horrible image. Oh, a lawyer borrows money for a 10-year-old girl. Now, that's a horrible image. Why do I feel like my reputation with this couple is smaller than before? Ha ha ha, there are a few things more invigorating than taking a man for all he's worth. Please don't please with it, Hurley. It's not as if you never had a chance of winning. Wait, what? What do you mean by that? Well, using that special ink I developed, anyone could. Thank you, Iris. That will do. I'm sure this conversation proved very dull for everyone. What's done is done. The game is over now. There's no reason to cry over special ink, you say? Well, son, that sounds like the sort of risky business right up my alley. Oh, really? I love your dauntless spirit. You'll have to face danger. Come on, then Iris spill. What's this special ink about? Ah, well, it's what we call invisible ink. All you have to do is write the suit on the reverse side of every card. And with the aid of some special glasses, the whole game is laid bare to you. You were wearing glasses last night, weren't you, Mr. Holmes? Along the lines of, my eyesight appears to have suddenly worsened. Mind games, was it? You're telling me Sholmes can see every card Odo had. What? That's not mind games. That's blatant cheating. My dear fellow, what an accusation. Let me cheat, please, for trickster. Whatever you call it, the game doesn't count now. Understand, Mr. Sholmes? Hear me? Well, out of respect for the bad grades with which you take to be, allow me to return your shilling. Did you hear that, Gina? Give it here. Eh? Leave me out of this. This is your one bob. It's mine from the start, no question. No, so that one bob was lifted from this here pocket a few minutes ago. You keep saying, come on then, where's the evidence? The law is about evidence. I know my stuff. Mr. Naruto, use a pride excuse in court and others will picture it. Only whenever I do it in court, this is a pride excuse. As I said, so that coin's got blood, sweat, and tears all over it. That's right, it has. Blood, sweat, and tears is the evidence. What you say? Time for this. Ah, do you think? The trace blood like what else to know about it? Alright, Jenny, hold very still. Eh? What? Ah. Blood on this coin. Once again, as I said, so that would be my blood sweat. Oh, wait, I've seen blood on that color boy. Yeah, I know whose coin it is. What? Well, this blood-stained shilling is... Bruno! Huh? Me? The appearance of the blood, I would say, is quite fresh. Within the last 24 hours. Within the last... Ah, then in that case... This is the coin what Sholmes had on Moto last time. Oh, Bruno, you mean, did you really make your gums bleed? I told you I was so free to lose, I had to grit my teeth as I handed over the money. Why, or as me at the time, I thought you had a proper job. Come on, G, say it over, would you? Shilling, that's rightfully mine. Arg, fine. Alright then. Just stop your bleeding staring. Finally have it back. It's like a dream come true. Already had that one in the bag and all. Wonderful news, I'm so happy for you now then, as you promised. I'd like my money back, please. You just said you paid me back out of this month's pocket money, didn't you? Oh, yes. Well, I suppose. My dear fellow, do be kind to your gums. Look, that shilling was always supposed to be taken from you, saw? Reason the phrase serves you right floating around in my head. Oh, Iris, as promised, here's a shilling I owe you. Pay me already? Well, thank you. What's all about? What were you learning you know money for? Ah, yes, well, actually, it's because I went to the limestone market to buy herbs. For Bruno. Herbs for Odo. The tea Mrs. Otter left behind. It's not quite a Gyokuro tea, but it's just so bitter. After this missing with some herbs making more palatable, I asked her to buy me some. We made a special Japanese herbal tea with the leftover Gyokuro. I'm gonna call it Susie's Special Blend. Hope you all try it. Excruciating business cleans to the throat. It's bright, glittering group to leave the cup. It's quite delicious. Yeah, right. It appears the shilling's brief adventures are now at an end. Adventures? Let's remedy for the coin as a considerable journey since last time. Let's see. Originally, it was the coin I was between I was to pay for the herbs. My poker drew out past to you, gave it to Iris as spending money, but I dropped it something out, and then a bit of a run, finally gone, and then I was really live in here, and then he's been bringing to the bloodline, and then I was just looking in the card game, and then might as well be after all. Thanks to the special blend. And now, after all that, the coin is resting safely in my pocket. That is an adventure. We're supposed to take away from it. 1 shilling coin blend to Iris alone, I think. Now, follow your observation, Mr. Naruhodo. Well, you know what they say? What goes around comes around. I get the feeling that Iris was going around there from the very beginning. Ha 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 ha. Price, as they say. Well then, my dear fellow, how about the indulgence of bitter tea and a bitter rematch? I even allowed you to stake the coming month spending money in advance. I fold. Oh boy. The final escapade. Oh no. Oh my gosh. Poor is now in such for the trial, Mr. Herlock. Case of murder? Yes, my lord. The defense is ready. Discretion, my lord. Very well. I better go prosecute case. 2 days ago, late at night, when the ground was blanketed with snow, it was a residence of the accused, Mr. Sherlock Holmes. It was addressed at number 221 Baker Street, was it? If it was, my lord, but it will henceforth endure infamy for this grim crime. Yes, sir, well put. The victim, a certain Madame Rosie, fixated and accused of so word. No clear as to whether the victim was actually killed the defendant's suite or not. Probably Mr. Holmes left the room for only a brief moment. Or at least someone vanishes out of this room completely. Vanishes, O counsel, the victim. Quite true, my lord, there is but one adjoining door between the drawing room and kitchen. When I brewed some tea in the kitchen, I returned to find the room completely empty. Nobody else present. No larger Iris would have been at home. However, on the day in question, she would have been invited to a meeting of the scientific society in the city. You have a prosperity exaggeration, sir, but you could have the victim vanished herself, but really it seems to me the time that she chose to leave via the main entrance of your suite. The room to the accused was locked at the time from the inside. Very true, Inspector. As such, I can say with considerable certainty the victim did not leave via my front door. But what about, aha, yes, she could have snuck out the window. Or locked street. Or snow all around the building until said no patch was disturbed. Here's how the victim could have left without leaving a trail. Victim, Madame Rosie, somehow vanished from the scene. She was killed. Arg. Naturally, I was alarmed at the sudden disappearance of my guest. Some of this gentleman who resides in the attic, the room above my own, and we took a cab to Scotland Yard. The defendant called for me, and when I saw his suite, I was on my way downstairs. And yes, I'm quite sure it was empty, just as Mr. Holmes' shed. We reached the yard, the very detective happened to be there. Yeah, I was just in my office for a while and got back from some important important business, huh? Yeah, okay. Shady business. No footprints. I've seen it just took place. No, my lord. I went straight up into bed in my own room in the attic. The was met with the most blood-curdling sight on Mr. Stone's sofa, the van Mr. Madame Rosie. The victim was already dead when you discovered her, Inspector. No, my lord, not dead. No, but not far from it. No remains to say these dying words. That Roger Sholmes would be the death of me. Or that remark at the time, delivered in a rasping voice full of malice. Oh. Your last, the victim expired moments later there on the sofa. Cause of death was identified as damage to the respiratory tract as a result of strangulation. Like how this is a closed court. Is the accused there to contest the inspector's account? Certainly not. In fact, the inspector has done an unusually fine job of summarizing the salient points. Jones will be the death of me. Damning departing words indeed. Victim named her killer. You, Sherlock Holmes. And no reason to take the victim's life. As you can tell, the court, Mr. Schultz, who exactly the Madame Rosie was. Never mentioned her to you. I extended an invitation to her that even though she is gracious in the extreme, the most trivial matters. Until it became a quarrel, I was only too pleased that he leave her presence to make tea. Great. The accused did in fact have a motive to guess permit. More was about the other mysteries around the case. I agree with the defense. There are many unscrupulous details of the victim's alleged disappearance, reappearance. So the crimes of could never have happened. The victim named the accused in her dying breath. It seems to me that my learned friends overlooked a significant detail here. What have I overlooked? I think so, Eric. Man of the dodge, so-called great detective, all too frequently makes the following bold claim. There is no crime beyond the realms of possibility. A mystery beyond the powers of reasoning. Mr. Sholmes, you will have no difficulty explaining how the crime thus described could have taken place. Therefore, I propose a toast to the great detective of holding his name. But of course, I put my mind to the matter. The crime would be feasible. Please, Mr. Sholmes, what side are you on? What you say is no. I can't get away with the crime that could have been committed. Your submission be noted by the courts. I'm responsible to mortals. Confused. Pass it. Made alone. I have to know exactly how it was done. Now, hold on. That's a very fragile argument. He was great at the day in some extreme manner with the murder victim either for the grounds of the defendant. Oh dear. Oh.
Hold it!
Laura, please. Please about the mystery surrounding this case. I know another besides the great detective. What's this? Oh, remember, you're coming along wonderfully. There's a fundamental truth about this case, I believe. What should be, detective? Because this case is known. Only to the true culprit, obviously. Is that not so, Gregson? Eh, what? Well, I suppose yes. You don't mean any suggestion, Mr. Sholmes? Do you have an idea of what actually happened that night? An idea, my dear fellow. I can explain the entire history from start to finish.
Objection!
Still admitted. Right, Mr. Reaver. Which of us truly feel the grasp of the situation, I wonder? Is it really, Eric? I'm kind of hosed in one of my fans. I had a chance to go to the championship game, and now I'm not, unless something miraculous changed. And it certainly appears that it won't be. Yeah, unless some miracles happen, I am definitely not winning. Dude, the Saints have consistently been able to stop Tom Brady for some reason. Within the part of the instant, the victim slowly advanced with a trace in the room, so how could the man Rose disappear? Or naturally via the window. Jar, that can't be. The room is a story above the street. No prints in front of the snow. There are many number of ways one could avoid leaving the tracks in the snow, such as flying, for instance. The two-ish notion. Yeah, that's pretty wild, Eric. And where do you propose the victim flew, Mr. Sholmes? Is not entirely plain. The culprit's abode. Having left my suite, that is clear where Mr. Mariana Rosie was murdered. Oh, I consider the crew identity, if you will, by my own blood.
Objection!
To her death. The conviction court was discovered in your own sofa. No doubt because their killer carried her back here. But the lack of footprints in the snow. Our own when we return home ourselves. By our footprints, you mean your own and mine. You're equipped with the results of another. Other than any question, there was one other person who could have conveyed the victim to my sofa. What? Good gracious, who do you refer to? A man whose somewhat unavailing presence at the scene of the crime would be questioned by no one. Unavailing? Ah, you don't mean... Indeed I do. A man who hastened to the scene directly upon learning of the incident at Scotland Yard, namely... You, Inspector Gregson. Eh? You arrived at my address on Baker Street. You were carrying the half-dead Madame Rosie with you. He waited for the suitable opportunity and then laid the victim on my sofa. He did what?
Objection!
We were the inspector when he arrived. How could he possibly carry the victim? We would have noticed. Your fellow most obviously in the persistence does not. He was really even without his overcoat. He must simply conveyed in one of his many pockets. I'll see what makes this detective great, but I can see one thing with great certainty. Human body cannot fit in the pocket of an overcoat. You, Madame Rosie's not a human. I believe you have all filed for rather insignificant misapprehension. What? Madame Rosie was not a human. I beg your pardon? Mr. Sholmes. Yes, Mr. Naruto, something troubling you, perhaps. Whatever gave you to that idea. What sort of creature was Madame Rosie? Not apparent already? A parakeet, of course. Huh? Well, self-conceited specimen, in fact. A parakeet. He was an incessant talker, I must say. Remember, I was quite intolerable at times. What, to turn every conversation into a quarrel? I thought to strangle the creature on more than one occasion. You had a quarrel with a parakeet. Of course, why else would you have chosen to fly from my window so cordially that evening? To the abode of the inspector here beside me, no less. Mr. Gregson's abode, but why? Because I was a parakeet's home, naturally. What are you? Inspector was called away from town for some days, so it was arranged that I would look after the bird. But it appeared that she was overcome with a sudden yearning for a keeper. This prompted her flight with my incredible speed to the inspector office of Scotland Yard. Oh, Gregson, I believe it's high time to explain. This is kind of what happened that night, sparing no details, of course. Mr. Gregson. It was an accident. But from being away that evening, she watched the Red Man Rosie be on her way back to the yard as well. The door shut behind me just as she was trying to fly through it. Madame Rosie. She got sandwiched between the door and the frame and fell to the floor, never to move again because of me. I never had to do something when I was trying to think of a plan. I was already talking about some incident at Baker Street. I had to have Madame Rosie in a hurry, so I stepped through my toboggan and got in the cabin with the pair of you. Could possibly motivate you to behave as Commander Inspector? Lord Strongheart, sir. What? Lord Strongheart. Or she doesn't ask me to look after the bird in the first place. She'd been living with the pitches of the Supreme Court until then. Apparently, the other birds had started to pick on her. For the past 6 months, I've been caring for my office at the yard. I see. What happened to that bird? Just imagine. No pay, no time off for the rest of my career. You might remember just what's gonna happen. That's why well... Victim's dying words, Inspector. Sorry, the Madame Rosie spoke over the name of her sailor to her death, but that rotter Sholmes will be the death of me. Indeed, she did. Quite uncalled for, when you agree, but those words are your true feelings, are they not, Inspector? Ugh. Clearly, you speak of me often at your office in a disparaging manner, a manner that the Mary Parakeet took much delight in mimicking. Oh, come on. I mean, have you read this month's edition of Ranch Magazine? I'm sorry. This is all absolutely true. Why is this in court? Something wrong, Lord Van Zeeks? No, nothing. I almost drifted off for a moment there. Perhaps drift off when you've been kept waiting 3 hours already. Careful managed me with Lord Strongheart at all today. I had to deliver the report to the Windbank case that he asked for on another day. Tell me, Inspector, what became of that bird? The Madame Rose, you mean? She had a narrow escape, but she's still alive. I delivered her back here long ago on Lord Strongheart's orders. Well, the pigeon will accept her now. It was shocked to hear that she'd been crushed in the doorway of your office, especially as we all apprehended that Madame Rose was a person. Oh, sorry about that. It was Lord Strongheart to demand that. Ah, good, you're here. Apologize for my tiredness. I'm exactly 3 hours, 24 minutes, and 57 seconds late. Oh, my lord. Oh, no, please don't trouble yourself. Then it gives great pleasure in saying you're doing nothing for hours on end. Pardon me. Let's hear it then. Your report. fantasy, did you? And Rosie would find out around the pigeons are happy as Larry she was. Really, Inspector, you must be relieved. Why was this in court? Unless he was just making a. That was dumb, but fun. Wow, there was actually quite a bit in the extra content section. And that will do it. The end of all the shenanigans of Great Ace Attorney. Thank you for joining me for this special bonus episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a great night, and I'll see you for the next game.